taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the new song. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough as
tracks and some music that you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not as sharp as many, but got hard.
to it because of an asshole remark that you do. But then all of a sudden on camera, oh babe, oh baby, oh babe, let's do this, oh babe, come on, da da da. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I said, hey, sweetheart, before I can even finish talking, first of all, you never even acknowledged I was talking. You was looking straight ahead. Then you cut me off while talking. And for you to sit there and tell me that that wasn't dismissive, that wasn't disrespectful, and you're not sorry about it, and you're not apologizing about it because you're not sorry about it, that's so.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Listen, we are talking to you guys about Love is Blind. So if you're just tuning in, you've joined at the right time. We're about to kick off this wonderful show. Listen, I won't lie to you, episodes 10 to 11. It feels like it's been a long time ago. I can't lie to you. It's been almost a week. And I think because I dropped videos earlier on last week, it feels like such a long time. I mean, technically it is like 6 days away, so like it is a long time. But these 2 episodes have been interesting, I think, from anybody's perspective. I think what we found was we've seen a situation with KB. We saw a situation with Edmund, and what we saw between KB and Edmund, yeah, she crashed out. Okay, all right. We saw Megan also as well. Situation. Political with Megan and Jordan. We don't know if they're going to make it. Then there was also, you got to say Ali and Anton. Let's be very real. Let's be very honest. That situation's peak. Okay? Because we got somebody who drinks a lot. We got somebody who wants to be a princess and doesn't want to cook, clean, wash, do anything in that household. Okay? We have both of these people which have their own individual problems, I feel like, as well, in that space. We have Joe who ran away. Okay, Joe, we all knew. Listen, I watched an interview of his with his current girlfriend. I'll drop a review tomorrow. Let's just be honest, okay? Joe ran away, not because she was annoying, because she was ugly to him. And I don't know why people need to lie about it. Like the girlfriend was trying to be like, oh no, he's not like he found her attractive. And then Ricky tried to jump. Shout out to Ricky. I love Storytime Ricky. I like Storytime Ricky. But girl, you damn well know that there ain't no way that just because he touched her and touched her back don't mean that he don't fancy that he don't find her not attractive. Like, we can do that. Okay, all right. Ugly people are ugly people to you, and you can touch them, you can have sex with them, you can do all those kind of things. I don't mean nothing about you actually fancying them. But look, I don't want to talk long. Like I said, I want to get some people on here because I'm not trying to be on here all night. Okay, all right. I got my boy Easton at the back as well. If you do want to join a conversation, of course you can. If you want to join a conversation, you must cam up. So if you know you're not camming up, don't come up. Okay, you must cam up, and if you don't bother coming up as well. I want to let you guys know also the chat is about to go to members only in about 5 minutes time. So if you've not joined the membership, what are you doing? Why have you not joined the membership? We're out here giving you lives on panels with people involved. Okay. All right. I'm not charging you nothing crazy. It's £1 and $1. I've made it cheap on purpose because nobody needs to kill anybody here. There's no need to become a millionaire out of you guys. I mean, it would be nice. I can't lie. But, we want to make sure that you guys can all be involved. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you click on that $$ sign. YouTube has made us aware now you can do it from your phone. So if you haven't been able to do it on your phone before on iPhones, you can now do it on your phone. Okay. Because it's about to go to members only in about 5 minutes time. So I hope you guys are ready to get involved with the conversation. But let me bring my boy up here as well. And I'm sure a few others will join us a little bit later on as well. But let me get my boy up in here. Easton, what are you telling me, bro? I'm good, bro. I can hear you well, bro. I can hear you well. Let me put my sound on because, it's going to do the wrong thing. So let me make sure I put my sound on.
Make sure y'all catch all of this in 4K. I'm excited to be back. I'm sorry I missed last week. I was in Spain, and so I'm just excited to get back because we were talking about this. We were talking through the interwebs, and like I said in the first week, we start to see a little bit more personality. We start to see a little bit more of the attitudes and just the people's personalities kind of accentuate further as we watch the show. And I like to think that I was a little bit right with some of my predictions, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
I'll see here. Hey, Sean.
Hey, what's up?
That's Gucci, man. How you doing, bro? We haven't started anything. We just got kicking off the show. But I guess, it's always good to kind of get your early thoughts and stuff of episode 10 and 11 and, what you saw and what you felt.
This season has just been a show. It's been a ish show for sure. I think Joe did what needed to be done, but the way he bolted after the tuxedo fitting was like elite, just horrific the way he did it, but it needed to be done. Nick did what needed to be done because I don't know what Annie had got, I don't know what she was going on. She definitely was, she had a lot to her, but he had a lot to him too. So, but look, for whatever he had going on, he did a good job with Annie. I'll give him that. Cause he definitely set her free. Calabria and Edmund is Calabria and Edmund. And Annie and Anton and Allie, that's Chaos Central. This is nobody to root for, bro. I don't know. I just feel like she just called him a drunk. She called him a drunk less than one business day ago. And now they're meeting the family and ready to move forward. I was like, what happened to the closure? Where's my closure? You had a whole intervention with old boy. So can't root for them either. Sparkle Megan and old boy with the chicken smoothies. Can't root for them too tough either. But I think they're gonna get married though. I think they'll get married. That's it. That's all I got.
It's political, can't lie to you. I definitely hear you, Sean. El Cid, opening thoughts around episode 10 and 11?
Clearly, Sean ain't in these internet streets, but okay.
No, I'm working. El Cid, I'm working now. I'm a working man.
Hey, you're working man now, bro. We love to see it, bro. You have to get, yeah.
I can't catch all the tea, El Cid, so you're gonna have to fill me in. I'm up at your hours at the crack of dawn, 6 o'clock. I'm out the door.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
are you the rooster that's crowing?
I'm going through it, El Cid.
I know you're going through it. But okay, opening thoughts. Opening thoughts on this is, I will have to take, since the DJ is tired because of his changing schedule, I have to go to Queen Latifah, UNITY. Who you calling a bitch? Because my thing is, no matter what you doing, when you calling people out their name, or when you'd rather your fiance hush than talk to you, the relationship is over. Yes, Nick left. Joe ran. I have no problem with Joe running, except that Joe just, made it seem like he was torn up about it. Joe knew he was leaving since the vacation. He should have just left then. He just took too long to do it. So yeah, that's my initial thoughts on it. I'll dig in deeper as we go along.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Let's start strong. You know what I mean? Like I said, I like to start strong and end weak. Joking. But listen, let's start strong. Yeah, I know it sounded bad. I know, I lied to you. Let's start strong. We're gonna start with obviously the KB and KB and Edmund situation, because of course that stirred most of the controversy on episode 10 and 11. Took a lot of the reviews of people and stuff like that as well. But it's interesting because I was on the internet, and I think this is gonna be an interesting conversation. It was very split. So when I say split, it might be my algorithm, but it was very split in terms of the fact that when I say split, what I mean by that is a lot of people could see that this was bad of what KB did. They could see. Yeah, they could. My algorithm was saying they could see where she went wrong. There are three camps. There are camp one, people who believe she did wrong. Okay. Then we have camp two, who believe she did wrong, but she's not wrong about calling him a B word. Okay. All right. And there is camp three, who says she's just outright right. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there before. I've said the exact same thing. So there were three camps that I saw. Okay. Which is really intriguing to kind of like see from a perspective. Of course, I don't have the algorithm for white folk. I only have it for black folk. So I don't know what the white folk are saying about it, but what I do have is for the black folk. I don't know what the white folk are saying. I don't have an algorithm for that. Okay, my algorithm is only curated for black folks. Okay, so I don't know what they're saying on their side about KB. What I do know is what my own people are saying about KB situation. So in that regard, I want to open up that conversation because it was one of the biggest things around the situation. So I'll play a little bit of a clip, and then we will get the show crocking.
I'm so fucking tired, and I'm so fucking tired. Like, I'm really trying, but you make it so hard. I can't force you to want to grow up.
Definitely can't force them to grow up. But okay, so in regards to obviously KB and Edmund, I want to address the key part, which was the B word. She called him. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how you saw it. I want to know what you took from that scenario. We're just discussing the B word because there's a lot more that could be discussed. I'm sure there's a lot more that we discuss, but I want to discuss specifically the B word situation. How are we viewing it? What are we saying about it in that space as well? Let me bring Dahlia on as well. Okay, Edmund, I know that you didn't get to talk about it.
They gonna call me Edmund.
You gonna call him Edmund? Dang.
Oh, crap.
You got We not gonna start this way. I done missed the week. You know, put me in the same category as Edmund.
Kojo. Kojo, does that mean I can call him a bet? Does that mean I can call him a bet?
You know it is. It's the EE. It's the EE. It's the EE. It's getting me out of pocket. There's the EE, bro.
God.
Easton,
You don't
I'm
ever
sorry.
let me
I was
talk.
called you Edmund before earlier on as well. It's crazy.
You don't ever let me talk, Easton. You don't ever let me
sorry,
talk.
man. I apologize, bro.
Gonna give me the,
I apologize, bro.
In Spanish.
Easton, I apologize. Sorry, brother. Yes,
It's okay.
Easton, let me let you go first. KB, the B word situation. Want to know your thoughts. Again, audience members, just because we are saying our thoughts, please respect the opinions are also entertainment as well. Okay, some people like to push the bucket just for the entertainment purposes on the panel. So please, and we're going to enter in no one's DMs and talking about how you feel about you feel. No one's told me that, but just in case, because that's how we used to start. People used to go people's DMs. I remember those days. You know what I mean? And the Lord's going to elevate us again. So I just want to warn you guys, please do not be entering no one's DMs. It's for entertainment purposes, not and all opinions don't always reflect the true thoughts of the people on the panel. Yes, Easton, talk to me, brother.
KB was absolutely wrong when she called Edmund the B word. There's no way around it. I don't see why anybody is advocating for her in that capacity. She was wrong. I mean, up to this point, there was nothing that from our visuals or anything like that, nothing that led to it. And it didn't seem like Edmund, he's been uber apologetic on so many different fronts. I feel like we would have got a really good story, or at least like some type of lead into what would bring her to calling him a B word. And I think that she's gotten to the point from resentment to contempt, and that's what led to her calling him the B word. But I don't see how anybody is trying to find or angle shoot her calling him the B word, because it was absolutely wrong. And if you do agree with her, I hope that you can kind of find in your heart to kind of heal whatever's going on, or at least get yourself out of the situation, because I think that she stayed in that situation way too long, and that's what kind of led to that.
Hey, you. Elsid, yes?
I just didn't quite understand the editing of that scene as it was given to us. You know, he refused to do something that production was telling him to do. It wasn't even an argument with her per se. It was an argument about not wanting to do another Western theme, thing. And it's like, why are we so mad? It has to be something. I'm thinking it had to be something else. But, as y'all have always told us in the men's panel, but we start disrespecting y'all and calling y'all out your name, especially that word. Yeah, but I have heard what you heard too, Kojo. I've heard people saying that they too have called their man a B and that she is completely justified if that's how she feels, and there are people who call her out and say it's wrong. My thing is, if you gotten to that point that you even think he is, the relationship is done. It's done. If you think that man, and then while you're calling him that, remember you are wearing his ring. You did accept the proposal. So, kind of reflect on, this is also the man you chose. So watch how you're really going to talk about and talk to him, because that is a man you chose. And I find it quite interesting that we finally did see Edmund speak up for himself and say, hey, I'm not going to capitulate. I'm not going to just apologize because you want me to. I don't feel I've done anything wrong and I'm not going to apologize. That to me was the flip out, unless they edited it and it was a completely different topic. But if you got to call him out, just don't even show up for the wedding dress fitting. It is over. And production is real sly with letting him ride on the back of the snowmobile. They know they could rent 2 snowmobiles. They know they could. It is the whole optics of everything. How did the rest of the crew come up if they didn't rent some other snowmobiles? Come on now. So y'all just want to give this whole optics and give us a whole train of thought. He wanted to quell everything. She wanted to have a discussion they had. But again, you're calling him that. You are his fiance. You did choose to accept his proposal, young lady. After that, I wouldn't even go to an altar.
He loud and clear. Dahlia.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indeed.
Cool. So I didn't even consider the optics part of it. Because I did notice that she was the one who was driving, but I didn't really think too much of it. I just thought, oh well, maybe he just didn't feel like driving. Because there are some guys who are like that. Like they're cool with that and it's not that deep, but maybe it is. I don't know. I will say, and I've gotten into arguments with members of my family about this, specifically the male members. I would be a hypocrite if I were to say that what KB did was cool, because to my way of thinking, to call somebody outside of their name, to insult them like that, or to use like what's the word I want to say? Like curse words, that sort of thing at them, is like the equivalent of slapping me in the face. That's how I personally feel about it. I think it's verbal abuse and it's grounds to leave. That's me personally. I've gotten into many fights with my family about this. I don't care. Okay. I've had family members verbally abuse me before. I know how it feels. It doesn't feel good. It's not nice. And as far as I'm concerned, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If you said it, it's because you really meant it. You really felt that way. And I'm not going to stick around to go figure out why. And what really struck me was that when she said it, it sounded like a throwaway line. Like she was so worked up, it just slipped out. She didn't even look at him when she said it. It wasn't even like you are B. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like that. It was just, she was getting up to walk away and it just came out of her. I think that's how she really, really felt. And I don't know, something in me says, she's done this before. she's done this before, because it was too smooth. And I feel like she feels comfortable doing that because she don't respect that man. When she was testing him in Mexico, the bug situation, asking about the club scenario, that was her deciding, oh, okay, he's not a real man. So I can go ahead and talk to him however I want to, because I guarantee you, if she was dealing with a real one, she wouldn't be calling him no names. She would know better. She would know better. She wouldn't do that. But she knows that Edmund is not that guy, that he's actually pretty gentle. I got thoughts on him too, but as far as she's concerned, because the onus is going to fall on her because she's the abusive one in this scenario. Yeah, like right then and there, he should have walked away and never looked back. I was actually disappointed that he didn't, and I didn't understand why he's giving her flowers and apologizing to her. Like the what? What you?
Dahlia,
Okay.
come on now. If it was the other way around, and you know, the man was the one verbally being abusive, as you said, you know, he gonna be bringing flowers. You know that whole scenario.
Great. That's why she
That's
should be
not
giving
the
him
other way
flowers.
around.
She should be giving him flowers. So what it looks like now is, I'm sorry I made you go and call me outside of my names and disrespect me in front of the entire freaking world. I'm sorry I made you come out of your character. Please forgive me. Whatever it is that I say, please, please. Anybody trying to hear that? And plus, now to be on the topic, can a man take you outside of your character, KB? Look what you made me do. You took me out of my character. So now you're going to take all of your power, all of your agency, and give it to this man. Now he's in charge of you. He can tell you what to do. So what you Pinocchio now? He got you on a set of strings. He can just tell you what to do. Stop. I can't stand when people do that. No, be in charge of your own life. Put your big girl panties on. Okay. You decided that you wanted to call him names. I understand that you're upset. But there's ways for you to handle that conversation, and it's not calling somebody a B. Okay? No, not cool at all. So yeah, we can stop there because I'm getting myself worked up now.
Okay, I understand it. Another round. The thoughts to KB and Edmund and her calling him the B word.
She said what she said and she meant what she said. Y'all can hear me, right? Hey, everybody. She said what she said. Definitely meant what she said. The way it didn't slip out, that slid out. And like you said, Dahlia, nothing frustrates me more than a person saying somebody took them out of character. That's your character, baby. There's layers to us. And that's just one of your layers. Because the way it came out and the fact that you didn't offer no apology behind it lets me know this is what you do on a regular. And that's how you felt about that man. Was there things he was doing that probably made her feel like he was be-like in some areas? It's possible. Yes. I could see where she was doing all the testing to see what type of man she got herself into. But baby girl, that's what you chose. Like Elsie said, this is what you signed up for. It was a take it or leave it deal on everything he got going on. So to verbally disrespect that man like that and sit there and be like, I ain't sorry for it. You're the problem. You made me do it. It's crazy because if he was to react in a physical way, one could say you made him do that too, but it still wouldn't be right. So nothing pissed me off more in that episode was him going and bringing her flowers, because that's exactly why she chose to use those words for you. Because you tuck your tail and just like, I'll do whatever and stuff for you just to shut you up. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. I was mad at him. I was mad at Edmund for that or whatever and stuff like that, because she should be bringing you flowers. She should be apologizing, because not once did we see him disrespect her. And on top of it, the whole thing started because you intervened into his business. He had a situation going on. Just because you felt like you couldn't calm and control or whatever it is that you thought you were supposed to do with him because you want to build a bear, don't mean that you could disrespect that man and flip the whole thing on him like it was his fault. If he don't want to have another cowboy theme situation, that's between him and the producers. And then to try to gaslight all of us by trying to bring it up like all these other situations that she be talking about and stuff like that, like off camera, you act one way and all this stuff like that. So what? So freaking what? You need to learn how to act one way off camera too, because the way you showing up on camera is terrible. You a poor representation of all of us right now, because unfortunately we only get one of us most seasons, and this is how you showing up for us. So it's like, yeah, KB, you lost me on this one right here. Like, you're making yourself look bad, in my opinion, and you actually making him look more legitimate in public opinion. So I don't know.
Hello, Siwe. Welcome to the conversation. Good to have you as well. We talking about the KB and Edmund. Specifically, we're talking about, because of course there's more to address a little bit later on, but specifically we're talking about the comment that was about the you're acting like a B word. So we're just talking about that particular scenario before we talk about the rest of what happened in episode 10 with them as well. Just get everybody's thoughts around that scene.
Yeah, you know, when she said it, my heart dropped a little bit. It did, for a couple of reasons, but you know, I don't want to repeat what everyone else said, but I said this over the last 2 or 3 episodes. KB is not being authentic, and when you're not being authentic to your feelings, to who you are, when you're so busy mothering a person that you're not being true to yourself, you're burying things, and then the real you is coming out. I will say the way that slipped out, that's the way she talks in general. I'm not sure if that's the way she talks to men, but that is the way she talks in general. And maybe because he has now turned into like child territory or lack of respect territory, it just came out. I don't even know if she really hurt herself, to be honest. I think she probably heard it later, like she realized, but it just made me, and she has said things like recovering crash out, things like that, and I can speak to that. A lot of people, well, I'm sure people who watch the channel know I got a little crash out in me because I'll snap on these comments from time to time, but I never use the word recovering crash out because I think we're always in recovery. If you have that in you, it's always in you. So I never say, oh, I'm healed from crashing out. I say this is a part of me that I work on every day. I don't think that she has realized that whatever lack of patience she talked about, crash out that she's talking about, is still there. And when you're suppressing it, things are just they're gonna come out. And that's what happened. I don't know what her motives are for still being on the show. I don't know what her motives are, you know, to still be dealing with Edmund. Edmund would have pushed a Saint probably to the level that KB got to. So I'm not going to sit here and villainize her because I feel like, you know, Edmund would have pushed my buttons about 4 episodes earlier, right? So I'm not going to judge KB, but I think you cannot lose control of your authenticity where you get to the point where you're calling another person the B word up on the slopes. You lost the plot at that point. You lost the plot. And that's part of recovery. Recovery is actually, it's not just not crashing out when you're mad. It's removing yourself from situations that lead to this type of behavior. Because she let it completely get out of control. And that's not helping her recovery. So those are my thoughts. You got to be true to yourself and true to your feelings. And then you won't get to the point where you're disrespecting another human being like that, and then you got to say sorry afterwards. So those are my thoughts.
Definitely hear you on that as well. I don't know if I asked you, Sean, what your thoughts were on the B word. I think you might have dropped off before then. So we're just asking everybody what their thoughts were on that scenario with the B word and her calling him that.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you know, she totally she lost it, you know, and there's never an excuse for calling anybody outside of their name, you know. And when a woman uses that name for a man, it's a Reynolds wrap, you know. It's done, you know. She did apologize, good for her. You know, glad she realized that, you know, and held herself accountable to speaking better. I need her to wrap this up, you know. Like, I'm not sure what we're holding on to, what kind of savior complex she got going on, but yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I definitely hear that as well. You know, I think obviously, just like the Edmund situation when he had the scenario, you know, I want to give her grace as well. It's unacceptable, but also at the same time, like I said, it can happen. You know what I mean? The same thing with I said with the Edmund situation. I don't think it's acceptable in terms of almost, in a sense, manipulating someone or coercing someone into sex, and it can be looked at as that. And I wouldn't be mad if somebody said it. You know what I'm saying? I can see both sides in that, but still, it's unacceptable, right? So, in this scenario, I still want to give a bit of grace and not say, you know, I'm not trying to make her out to be a bad person, but she has stayed beyond her time. I think it is a good example. I mean, for me at least, anyway, is, you know, like I said, when these ladies don't like you. When they don't like you,
Contempt.
cooked. Yeah, cooked, because the next word's coming out their mouth is, you know, some insult coming your way. Okay, all right. So, you know, choose someone that likes you. But all jokes aside, obviously they had some other arguments. There were some other arguments between the two of them that were happening in episode 10, because of course the slopes was episode 11, but episode 10, let me see if I can just get a clip up for you guys and discuss that argument as well a little bit more in terms of what happened between the two of them, because the argument was quite, I wouldn't say an intense one, it just was interesting because you know, old girl was counting on her fingers the kind of things that he needed to get right. So I want to get your thoughts on this argument too. Hold on.
I do get that.
Apologize.
I've been apologizing to you.
No.
Okay.
I'm happy it's funny to you because it's so serious. It's like the laughing and all that is what like gets me going.
Now, I want to ask you a question here, because I believe her calling the B word is verbally abusive, but I also feel like when somebody also uses "I love you" to cover up for actually change, I also think it's emotionally abusive to do that. You know, I think when you are using the "I love you" to cover up every argument because you don't want to have the argument, I feel like it's a little bit emotionally abusive. Because when I say that in the sense of it, at least let me say it's manipulative, because it's like you're not actually addressing the actual issues. Yes, I think he's manipulative. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do, because every single time we have an argument, right, or discussion, this is not the first time, by the way. He did the exact same thing at the mixer. When she was trying to address something, he started saying, "I love you, I love you," and I'm like, "Shut the frick up." Me too. I'm gonna say, "Shut the frick up." I ain't gonna call him a B word, but I'm gonna tell you to shut the frick up. Because why are you telling me you love me in this moment? What you're actually doing is stopping me from having a conversation with you because you feel like you're wrong, or you feel like I'm telling you off, or you feel like whatever, and you're deflecting. You need to have the conversation. You can't keep telling me I love you in those moments. I would hate this. If a girl did this to me, I'd actually be pissed off. Like, stop telling me you love me. Like, it's pissing me off. Like, you don't love me.
Fawning? He could be fawning. He could be feeling in a very awkward place mentally, and so he's trying to diffuse the situation with whatever tools he has available. I mean, people do that all the time when they are met with something unfortunate or a little bit more direct. I'm not saying that is the case, but manipulation seems a little bit deep for Edmund, and it's maybe manipulation, but I don't think it's nefarious in nature, which I think is a little bit different.
I mean, it's likely on the scale of coping to manipulation, however you want to put it. He's trying to cope with the conversation, and it could go as far as manipulation. I mean, it's just a very, emotionally immature way to respond to conflict. That's really what it was. And that's why sometimes I try to stay away from abusive and manipulative, because a lot of times it's somewhere in between whatever you're seeing. But if someone called it manipulative, like what Kojo said, I'm not going to say they're wrong. But it's a very immature way to cope. But Annie was doing the same thing. And I think because Annie appears to be more normal, people call that manipulative or insane, whichever you want to call it. But I mean, it was a very similar thing. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. What is that? I don't know. What do we call that?
Call that manipulation too, because we're gonna get to her. Don't worry about
that's what I'm saying.
Call her ass out too, because she hella manipulative.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. I don't know if you want to finish off your point, Easton, and then I'll go to the next person. Go for it.
Nah, we're just talking about their argument. or are we just talking about him just saying I love you?
Just that I love you. Just that I love you part. Is that manipulative thingy? And then I'll open it up after about the actual argument.
No, I don't think that it was. I think manipulation has a negative connotation. So I think that it needs to be a nefarious activity that's associated with it to be manipulative. And so I don't think that Edmund is doing that out of nefarious intent. I think that he's doing so out of coping. And I don't put that necessarily in the manipulation tactic. It might be a coping mechanism that isn't positive, but I don't put him in that same realm of manipulation that some may. But I will, again, like Seaway said, I wouldn't argue.
You know, children are manipulative. They do that same technique just like that. Mommy, I love you, when they're getting ready to get them in trouble. This is just a way of him getting out of situations. This has probably been a tactic that he's been using all his life, just to get out of situations, not to have the hard conversations, not to deal with reality or being held accountable, or just facing, like, being an adult and talking and communicating and understanding that both parties have a say in the situation and we can talk this out. You know, so me, I do feel it's manipulative because I've been on that other side of somebody just trying to shut down a conversation by trying to kiss you, hug you, say I love you, do all that stuff, and it does not feel good. Because what it does, if I give into it, we shut down, we move on, act like nothing ever happened, and the conversation never gets addressed, and the problem still exists. So then when I blow up because the problem still exists, now I'm wrong because that person loved me, they were kissing me, they were hugging me, they were there for me, they was doing all that stuff. But what I needed at that time was to have the conversation and address the issue and find a resolve some way or another, and we never did that. So there's a part of it that is manipulative, especially when we are adults and able to have conversations with each other. And there's a part of it that is just a coping mechanism that he's probably been doing all his childhood and then some into adulthood, just to get out of hard conversations. But at some point, he has to stop that. That has to stop, because that shuts down conversation. It makes the relationship real rigid, and it starts to be in a way like Jordan, we'll talk about later, where we're just not going to move from our square.
But with Edmund, what if all the communication that he's had up until this point has always led into more conflict? So we're seeing this on the tail end, but a lot of the earlier conversations that we've seen with KB and Edmund have always led to there being some type of explosive kind of conflict between them two, or like he looks like an idiot, the bed conversation, or even some of the other kind of questions. We just don't see a lot of healthy, nice, good conversations with him and with him and KB. So I don't think that like this resolve that we're trying to look for is ever going to be productive in his mind.
What's the conversations that we've seen? Because there's conversations that we've seen, he does the same thing. I love you, KB. I love you, but I love you. But I love you, KB. Come on, just talk to me nice, KB. I love you. That's all he ever does.
I'm saying in the beginning of them getting together, we see them have a conversation. We saw her kind of like, you know, we heard the back end whenever KB was talking with AD, how there was like issues. I'm saying I don't think that there was a lot of like happy endings on these conversations. So he's like, hey, I know anything going to go nowhere, so let me just love bomb you into smithereens, and maybe.
So love bombing is not manipulative.
It's another option
of manipulation.
I don't think that that was love bombing.
To avoid the conversation.
Or I wouldn't say it. I was misusing the word, but I'm saying love bombing in the sense that he's saying I love you a lot. Like he's emoting love. I love you. I love you. I love you, because
it's the only tool in his toolbox.
It's only tool. If I can't have a good conversation with you, what am I going to do?
But
that's also his normal though.
Huh?
He doesn't know them though. That's his normal. Like, you see what his mama's like. I can only imagine what the rest of his family is like. He thinks that's normal. That's why he's still sticking around. He's not going nowhere. So it's gonna have to fall on KB to do it, unfortunately. But yeah, he has one hammer rattling around in that big old toolbox, and that's about it. I'm serious. That's all he has.
he was able to come up with some nice words and an apology, and he was able to clearly articulate when they had that conversation prior to KB apologizing to him.
That's
said
the
he was
fakest
sorry.
apology. That was the fakest apology
Yeah, that
in
wasn't.
life. The problem
So
is
so then he's manipulating with his apology.
he wasn't wrong. He liked the issue is that Edmund pedestalized KB, and this went from the beginning. And we get to hear, like, everybody was saying what they said, but I knew KB was gonna crash out, and I don't want to take the conversation there yet. But the reason that Edmund is doing all these things is because he pedestalized her. He was, and we'll get into that, but that's the reason why he's apologizing. He wasn't wrong.
What do you mean he was? So none of the points that KB made in their previous conversations were right about the way he was handling conversations, about how he ignored her when she brought things to his attention, about how he centered himself when she talked about issues that she had, and he circled it back to him.
We're contextualizing the conversation.
About that?
Are we talking about what happened in episode 10? Because what happened in episode 10 was them going for the cowboy theme and all that stuff. Let's talk about that conversation. He wasn't wrong, ma'am. You wanted to get your hair done, and it took you a little bit longer, and now you have to make my life an inconvenience because your lack of time management skills. He wasn't wrong. That was episode 10 argument.
The argument was also that she needed assistance, and he was coming home, and they were going to an event.
He was cutting his hair. That was the issue. Was if he would have stopped.
I think you're missing certain points of their conversation. And in my statements, I'm not saying KB was all right and Edmund was all wrong. They both had points and problems. But what we're talking about in that moment, when he was able to articulate and talk about the things that he did and how he was addressing the things that she had talked to him about. So it wasn't just an isolated incident that he was apologizing for. He was talking about things that she had expressed frustration with prior to, combined with what then happened when they were on the ski slopes, and in addition to what happened at the party. So it was like a conglomerate of things. But my point is, I'm not going to infantilize Edmund. And I think that's what, unfortunately, some people are doing, is infantilizing him and making him like a child and forgetting that he is an adult that makes mistakes, an adult that is smart. You know, whatever he has going on, I'm not going to diagnose or try to do some diagnosis that I don't have the credentials to do. But however he's showing up, there's a population of people that look at him and it's like, oh, he's a victim. He's being taken advantage of by her. When he is an adult, he's a fully functioning adult man with a job, with a master's degree, and somebody that's flawed and shows up and makes mistakes too.
I think the same thing can be said for KB. There's a very strong group of people that I think she aligns in the protected group, that people will come and cape and cap and protect her. And that's also what it is. Like, there's also, if it wasn't for, like we always do, there's always a big event that happens, probably with a guy in this show, and it kind of covers and it blankets it blankets the entire season, and everybody can't overlook that one scenario. Edmund was the sex talk and him kissing the floor, but we overlook all of the huge red flags that everybody else has, and I think we did that with KB a lot too. I told Kojo, I said the first week we talked about this, I said she's gonna crash out and it's gonna be a slow burn, and everybody's gonna be like, dang, it's Caston's fault, it's this and the third. No, she's just as problematic. It's just that we are always positioning Edmund as the idiot, as the laughing stock on the show. That's what it is. It happens every season.
What's the question pending, Kojo? What is?
I was asking about whether the "I love you" is manipulative from Edmund when he says "I love you" in the context of when they're having that, like, an argument or back and forth, because it happened twice, right? At least we've seen happened at the mixer, it happened on this argument. So that's the question I'm asking now. I love you. Is it manipulative?
Let me know when we go to the bigger thing, because I feel like Easton has taken us outside of that. But
yeah, he has.
Okay. Well, I don't know if Dahlia or Elsid want to answer the question, and then we'll get to the bigger parts.
Can I go Elsid and I'll be quick?
Go.
Okay, because I'm just going to be piggybacking off of Jay and Seaway anyways. I do think it's manipulative in the way that a child is manipulative. So in that sense, I think he knows what he's doing. I just think that that's his only tool in the toolbox. He doesn't have anything else to go off of. Even Sean, when you were bringing up the apology that he gave, if you go back and listen to the apology and he's talking about accountability, when he's saying accountability, what he really means is I'm apologizing to you right now. That is his accountability. He didn't offer any actual steps to make any changes, which is why they keep having the same argument over and over again. Because from episode 10, when he apologized to her for speaking out of turn and embarrassing her, he said the exact same thing. This is me offering you accountability here. This is me apologizing to you. For him, he conflates it. It's the exact same thing. And I don't think KB is really catching what's happening here. She also didn't catch when they were in the pods that when she was asking him about, oh, how did you forgive your mother? If you go back and listen, like, he didn't actually forgive his mom. What he said was, because she's my mom, I'm letting this go. Of course I have to forgive her. She's my mom. And that was really it. He didn't say, well, I confronted her about all the ways that she hurt me, and she did this and this to make it right, to offer amends. None of that. So there's a lot of stuff that KB is slipping through as well. But as far as like the I love you thing, yeah, that's manipulative. Children are manipulative. And I'm not calling him a child. I'm just saying, emotionally speaking, he's at that level. I don't agree with you, Easton, though, that it stays that way. I don't believe that. I think with some strong trauma-based therapy, trauma-informed therapy, you can actually work past that. You can emotionally mature. He's not a child. He's not an idiot. He's capable of that. He's just not willing to do that. And KB's gonna have to do the same thing. She's also not mature. Like she's in the same boat. Why is she's talking to this man like she's his mom? It's just like, girl. Anyways, okay, we're moving past the question, but yeah, I think it's manipulative. Yes, Coach.
So my thought is completely different. Okay, it's completely different. When he utilizes that "I love you" every time, that is taught to you when you're in therapy to de-escalate a confrontation with a loved one. It is taught to you to, if you start as a transition, hey, I love you, and let's talk. That way you get that person to kind of like de-escalate. You get them, how they tell you is it gets you to remember the connection when that person is very, very mad and angry. It gets you to reconnect with them. It is a basic tool. It could be seen as a basic tool, but it is taught in therapy. So when I heard him start his conversations like that, I was like, okay, I see where Edmund is trying to utilize this. It may be his only tool, but I recognize where it came from. It can be seen as manipulative. It can be seen as that. But what it is to, to quote one of our, longtime Ready to Love, it brings a strength down in the room for some people. And then you can actually say your piece. But the minute he starts with that "I love you," she cuts him off. Why? Because she recognizes that technique. She recognizes that is to de-escalate, and then we could get to the topic. She don't want to go there. Don't use my techniques on me. Don't do it. I am hot. I'm going to remain hot. I'm going to argue, and I'm going to say my piece. But what she's not doing is also listening to him. He's not getting to finish. I keep finding myself like, what is the rest of Edmund going to say? Where's the rest of his statement? I can't hear him completely. because it's a cutoff, a cutoff, a cutoff. So while it can be seen as manipulative, I don't see it as malicious. I see it as him trying to reconnect with her while she's angry so we could actually come down to a point where we can hear each other. So I'm not going to minimize or say he's manipulative or however you want to see it. I just see it. It is a technique that is taught to sometimes couples. It is taught to people to kind of like reconnect and make sure the person who's mad at you can recognize, even though you're talking a difficult subject, they are here in love and they're talking to you in love. That's how I saw every time he used it. That's what he was trying to do.
That's cute. That's also manipulative. It's cute. It's cute because if I tell you I love you, so you can calm down, and I go silent, and I just let you speak, or I let you do, I can see where that works. I can see where the de-escalation happens. But if I just keep screaming, I love you, but KB, I love you, I love you. That's telling KB, and that's it. Shut up. We're not having this conversation no more. I'm not emotionally or whatever intelligent enough to have this conversation. Now, my second point to it or whatever and stuff like that, because he said something and when she was trying to test his manhood through that stupid question of what you gonna do if some man come up to me and all that stuff like that, is I think he tries to stay chill as possible because he might be a hothead crash out where, he go all the way there. So he just be trying to de-escalate himself with the I love yous and hope that you might not go there, but he don't read the room very well. And because the way he sat there in that whole thing, like, I'm not going to really do nothing. But when she called him out the name, the look he gave, like he could backslap her right there if the cameras was not rolling, told me that he might be a level 1000 crash out. And he be trying to temper himself sometimes. So him being overly apologetic when he shouldn't be, I could look at it. I don't like it, but I could look at it a different way where that's his way of de-escalating situations because he don't do conflict resolution very well. I love yous could be that same thing, but at the end of the day, that's manipulative because if you don't fix that within you, figure out how you can resolve conflict without trying to pacify somebody, and you've been getting away with it through talking to your mom or whoever and all this stuff like that. If you tell me that I just let my mom go, that's my mom, I love her, that means you're not resolving issues that need to be resolved. And if you were in therapy, you wouldn't be given an answer, that's just my mom, I just love her. So I hear you, El said, but what therapy is he in, especially on couples therapy, because that's what it sounds like you talking about for couples therapy, where we sit here and just say, I love you to start the conversation and stuff like that. Like,
in domestic disputes, they talk about that often. Like, I like this kind of crazy. I think that Edmund is probably the most therapized. I don't even know if that's the word, but he's been to therapy probably the most out of, as a kid. I'm sure he's probably been sent to social workers and had plenty of evaluations and different things like that. I'm sure to get to this point.
Have you been a kid in social services? Because the social workers and the therapists that you think you get is not what they get, babes. Those people don't really care about what your mind is going through.
We're just speaking about pure, just going to therapy, at least in some capacity, is better than not going to therapy. He could be somebody who never went to therapy at any point in time. I'm just saying, compared to the list of people that we have on this cast, I'm sure he's gone to therapy enough to get to this point, considering his life circumstances.
No, you can't assume that. Just because he's in a system, that does not mean that he's actually had therapy, especially the amount of therapy that he would need. He would need to be going at least once a week, and that would require his foster parents taking him. It's not a surefire thing that they would be doing that, or that the social workers would authorize that or recommend it.
Okay, cool. All right. So thank you for your thoughts. Appreciate that, guys. I guess the last question on KB and Edmund is more your overall thoughts on this relationship. And I guess I could preface it with a bit of a question: who is more wrong? Is it KB or is it Edmund in this particular scenario? Again, I just wanted to play a bit more of the argument they had, and then you can tell me your thoughts as well. Okay.
That sure is not nothing to joke around with, but it must be nice to hear something nice. When you just talk about everything that I'm like doing wrong and not saying not one.
I do want to ask a question alongside that. Was Edmund's mum right? Because I saw her Instagram. I'm just saying, it's tight. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a nice Instagram. Just saying, you know what I mean? I got to pray before I look at it again. But I'm just saying, she's a
It's something
baddie.
to get on. What she said about her being okay. Never mind.
But I'm just playing. Your overall thoughts around these two. I want to get your overall thoughts because it's the last part of ask question around these this couple. What are your thoughts on this couple overall? How are you seeing it from your vantage point and your angle? You can take it any way you want to take it. It's up to you. It's your particular thoughts on them and their relationship as well. Okay, I want to get your thoughts. Yes, sorry, Seaway, go for it.
I'm gonna agree with Easton on one thing. They both are very Easton. Don't get too excited.
There we go, twin.
We're twinning today.
Easton said a win is a win.
He's so happy. Easton love, but I'm not beefing with him. Okay, they both are deeply problematic, and the reason why I wanted to go first because I really just have to. KB reminds me of what we're seeing with Keisha Kaur. I had a long conversation. I think I talked about this with Sean and just I was just thinking about like what is the issue with this Keisha Kaur? Like what is this? And there's a group of people in society that really get off on helping to the point where they're like codependent. Like they like weak, damaged, trauma, whatever, so they can be of value to these people, so they can help them through their things, so they feel value. And although that does not look like eating your boogers, kissing the floor, hiding in the cabinets, all the things that Edmund was doing, KB's strong need to be a helper and all of this is very problematic. So I do want to say that. Also, because of that, she is requesting things from Edmund that he doesn't have the capacity to do. And that's why I say it's bigger than just Edmund. I think a lot of times as women and as people, we want things from people and we're not even noticing they don't have the capacity to do it. So this is why I disagree with Easton. She had every reason to be mad that a man that is, I would say, normal did not help her out, help her while she's trying to run around. That's what a man is supposed to do. He's supposed to lighten your load. He's supposed to make your life easier. That would be a normal requirement for somebody who is normal. Edmund, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, he'll find his match, is just not that. And so I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone listening to her talk because I'm like, does she not know he doesn't have the capacity? And I think a lot of times when we see people who have issues, just because they pop in and out of normalcy does not make them normal. There's a lot of people who are schizophrenic, have lots of issues, bipolar. They pop in and out of normalcy and people be like, oh, there ain't nothing wrong with them. Yes, there still is. You know what I mean? So I think she sees fragments of normalcy and then she's been requiring a lot of him that he doesn't have the capacity to do. So that's on KB. I don't know why she's doing that. She really needs to work through that. Who's the most wrong in this relationship? I would definitely say that I think Edmund's issues are more overwhelming than KB, but KB has a lot of problems as well. And I'm more concerned about why KB is sticking around than I am with Edmund, who I think we all have some idea as to what is wrong with him. And so there's that.
Dang, twin. Edmund's a pack mule at this point.
Easton, since your twin went, you can go after.
Oh, okay, dang. All right. Like I said, week 1 and how I've always been on this crusade when we talk about Love is Blind or any of the reality shows. What tends to happen is there's a major event that happens with the male figure or one of the men, and it blankets the entire season, and we can't move or dissect or analyze people for who they truly are unless we bring it back to what happens with this person. So, for example, Ashley and Tyler, as large as Tyler's issues were, we couldn't even look at anybody else's issues because Tyler was a deadbeat and he deserved to get, berated as he did, but we can't even analyze anybody else, and everybody's above reproach. So I said that week 1, and everybody, got on my back about it, but I'm honestly, feeling good now because I told y'all she's gonna crash out. The reason why was because she didn't like Edmund when the reveal happened. That was when the countdown started. It wasn't about the pods. As soon as she saw him, and if y'all go back to that episode and look at her face whenever he ran and skipped in them high water pants and them Oxford shoes, and then came back with said KB, she looked at him with disgust. And she thought to herself, well, for the greater good of this operation, I'm gonna see this thing through. I can get some brand deals on the other side of this. I can be the strong Black woman that maybe can see some light at the end of this tunnel. But as she was going through this experiment, Edmund continued to be who Edmund was. Edmund has always been this way. He hasn't all the discussions that we've seen from Edmund, he hasn't engaged or started any of them. It's always been KB's the initiator with the sleep talk point. Even Edmund to the point where he doesn't want to talk about it. She's like, well, talk to me, tell me. He knew what he was going to say was going to be some idiot, dumb, kooky stuff. But it was KB that kind of led that conversation all the way until we get him getting called the B word. But that is just a result of the contempt or the resentment transforming into contempt, showing its full form. Like I said before, but when we see these cast members, I try to do a deep dive. I try to look at their Instagrams, their Facebooks, their history and stuff like that. And before I create a picture in my mind about who they are, I like to look at the materials before I build that house in my mind. And when I saw KB, I knew what we was getting. I knew what type of person she was. And if she never really liked Edmund. If she really did, I don't care what y'all say about boundaries or the coercion or whatever it was, she would have, if she really liked them, like she would have, we wouldn't have no issues about this conversation about her coming up with these boundaries and having these boundaries. But she didn't like them, and that's what it is, point blank period. But I'll land the plane there. We see KB then crashed out. Edmund is Edmund. He's gonna be a ding dong. I hope that he finds the person for him, and it is what it is.
Interesting. Okay, the twins have spoken. All right, let me get the father while we're here. Deacon Daddy Davis.
The father? Dang, you on daddy status now, Sean.
That man ain't gonna be happy with me at all. He said he's not responding. He's not even opened his mic. Deacon Daddy Davis. He said put some respect on his name. He's a working man. Sir.
I'm going to use one of Edmund's tactics. Easton, I love you. That's how I feel about everything you just said. I don't know if I can kind of measure who is more wrong or who's more wrong in the scenarios. I definitely think once you reach the level of disrespect, when you call somebody out their name, I think you've gone low and very low. So I think that in of itself is a sign that Houston, we have a major problem. And that problem is probably not going to be resolved, because if you got to the point where your frustration level reached and you thought of probably one of the worst things you could call a man and you used the word, that meant that your respect level for him is gone. So I as much as the apology, I'm glad she did it publicly, because she called him the name publicly in front of the world. So I'm glad the apology was public. However, I hope this is more of a marker, like, sometimes when you realize we've reached a point of no return. I hope she reaches, that place in her mind. For him, it's hard to say, like, does he really get it or not? Does he really see the error in his ways, or does he just want to glaze over things and have the good times? Because even in that clip you just showed, you mentioned, he mentioned, like, you never say the good things, you never say the good things. I just wish you would, say more complimentary things. Now, on its face, I understand him saying that. But we also have seen KB be very complimentary of him, be very tolerant of him when he's jumping in cabinets and clicking his heels in the air and carrying on and doing all the things that Edmonds likes to do. So, and cheering him on and being like a cheerleader for him. So I think he has some self-reflection to do in terms of what is his expectation of people and someone in a relationship receiving him. And I think he is capable of doing it. It just takes work that probably doesn't feel good to him. That's why it was so easy for him to just kind of brush it under the rug about his mom, because it doesn't feel good to deal with the things that she did. It doesn't feel good to have to address, that means he has to really lead in dealing with that conflict and tell his true feelings, because we see that his true feelings come out and his frustration comes out. Because back in that scene when they were in the bed, those were some of his true feelings of frustration and anger, of when he does things and he doesn't feel like he's being met with the treatment he feels he deserves. But that explosion and that reaction comes because he's used to not expressing himself and saying things because he doesn't want to have uncomfortable conversations. He's going to have to, just as comfortable and confident as he is on them rollerblades, just as comfortable as he is skipping and dipping through them houses that he sells, he needs to get comfortable with talking to people and expressing himself and saying, hey, listen, I like this, I don't like that. Please do this, please don't do that. When somebody tells him something, hey, I don't like when you do that. Every time somebody tells you that you do something, because that is manipulation. But every time somebody says to me, hey, Sean, when you do this, it really hurts my feelings, and then I make it about me, problematic. And he has shown to do that several times. When she's brought stuff up, he's going to center the conversation back on himself. Is that immature? It 100% is, but he has control over it, and it's something that he needs to work on.
Okay, I'm hearing you. All right. Dahlia, talk to me.
So I forgot to mention this earlier, but it's a real shame that we didn't get to enjoy that beautiful scenery. That place looks so nice. I wish I knew where they were, because oh man, it was gorgeous. And we can't even enjoy it because they immediately launched into an argument. It was just like, God dang, y'all couldn't let them, I don't know, go, I don't know, enjoy the bunny rabbits or something first before y'all hop right into it. But okay. I think that if we're talking about who's more at fault here, I'm gonna put a 51-49 split. I'm gonna put my adjuster cap on. It's a 51-49 split, and it's gonna be on KB slightly with the 51. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if I'm looking at the totality of their relationship, it seems to me like Edmund is extremely passive. Like I think Issa mentioned this before, but all of the arguments, all of the confrontations, all of the conversations are initiated by KB, not Edmund. And the only time that actually happens is when when basically she erupts, and he just kind of follows along like a kid. And I honestly think that's how he sees her, as like a motherly figure. I think that's what he's used to. And it's unfortunate for her because now all of this responsibility falls on her to deal with it because he's not going to. He's not, and it's not fair to her. It's really not. So I understand her anger. And I actually I see how she's a social worker. I get it because Kojo, I don't know if you remember, you did this live a while ago. I want to say it was last year, maybe the year before that, where you were talking about all of these traits that people have that we don't like about ourselves, but they're actually a good thing. And I'll never forget this. You were talking about people who I think Seaway said like crash out artists. It's not really like you have this anger in you because it's like you sense that something's not right, and it's like you want to step out into the world, you want to protect yourself, you want to protect other people. That's a good thing. That's that warrior energy, and it's like God put that into you for a reason. I think that's why KB gravitates towards social workers, because she has that fire in her. It's like no, that this is wrong. This needs to be made right. But where she messes up is that she sits on it for a long time before she gets to the point where she can't. It's like she just can't sit on it any longer, and then she just erupts all over him. It's like you can't do that. You can't do that with anybody, but you especially can't do it with somebody like Edmund, because he's going to curl into himself. He's not going to respond to that. He can't even hear you, which is why when she's demanding an apology and then he eventually gives it to her, all he can say is, "I love you. Here are some flowers. I'll be accountable." That's all he can say to you. He didn't hear nothing that you say. I think that she needs to go to therapy and really learn how to assert herself without getting aggro, right? She needs to learn how to be able to properly communicate, because she's not a good communicator. I know people keep saying that, wow, she's so direct and clear. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's not direct and clear, because if she was, she wouldn't feel the need to go to go erupt all over Edmund 3 business days after her initial anger started. That's not good communication. I think that she needs to learn how to assert herself, and I also think she really needs to think about actively listening, because she's not a good listener. Even she's not a good listener. And she's also needs to get really clear about what it is that she wants, because she said from the beginning that she wants to be 50-50. She wants to shower gifts upon her man. She wants to should be whatever he needs. But then when reality hit and they actually started getting into the relationship, it was very clear that that's not actually what she wants, which is okay. But you need to be clear about that. So that's what I would say for her, and that's why the onus falls on her. As far as Evan is concerned, I think Sean was right, and I didn't realize it until that last argument that they had. But I think in my mind I have been treating him like a child. He's not a child. He's not a child, and I think because of his situation, if I didn't know that he was in foster care and about his mom and all that stuff, if I didn't know that, I would be treating him differently. Let's be clear here. This relationship should have ended in Mexico when he coerced her, because that's what it was. It should have stopped right then and there. Matter of fact, the producer should have stepped in to stop it, because that was coercion. I don't care that it looked like him basically acting like a child and having a temper tantrum. That's still a form of coercion. If you look it up in the dictionary, that's a textbook case of it. It's like you're trying to pressure somebody through manipulation. That's a form of manipulation. Not cool. Should have ended there. KB should have ended it right then and there. The fact that she had to sleep out on the patio ought to be a good clue that you need to stop it right then and there, but you didn't. So we are where we are. Edmund needs to be in trauma-informed therapy. He doesn't need to be with anybody. I do not think that he will make a good husband for anybody. He's way too passive. He puts way too much responsibility on other people to manage his feelings and his thoughts. That's crazy. How can you possibly be a good head of household, a good leader, a good protector, when you are passing all authority and power over to somebody else? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if they're gonna say yes. I could see Evan saying yes. I could even see KB saying yes, to be honest with you. I could see that. I mean, you're shaking your head, but I think she could. And Easton, I don't think that I think you got a bone to pick with KB from the beginning, because she said no to that man. She didn't want to sleep with him in Mexico. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think it necessarily means that she's not into him. I really don't. You said this before for other couples, but I don't think that's necessarily what it means. She's just trying to have standards now. Good for her. I just think that she needs to be clear about who she is and what she wants, and be able to properly communicate that in a calm manner before it gets to the point where she's so angry that she's cussing the man out. So yeah, that's where I am with them.
Thank you very much, Dahlia. Jay. Some deep thoughts are coming out tonight, boy.
Who is more wrong for this relationship? I'm like with Dahlia. I'm on the 51-59. I'm on the 51-50 scale with these two, really. Let's be honest, okay? Let's be for real, because this is a little cray-cray. But I do feel that KB is a little bit more intentional in what she's trying to accomplish on this thing. Now, don't get me wrong, because I think Edmund is playing in everybody's face on how he is acting and showing up on this TV screen. I do have a hint of belief in KB when she say he act differently off camera. I really do feel that he does act differently off camera. However, KB, the way you're showing up on camera is two-faced it to me, because you don't really like that man like that. Yet you do cheerlead him on. That's your man that you be trying to tell everybody, you know what I'm saying? You do give him the wrong opinion about what to believe. And when I think a person's a little bit off, and I don't really want to categorize him like that, but I do think he's a little bit off. And when I think a person a little bit off, I do not play with them in a manner of trying to lead them on and believing that things could be more than what they are, when I know they're not going to be. And so there's an end goal to KB. And I also think there's one to Edmund, but I think hers is more on the lines, let me just stick this through so I can prove something to somebody, show something, get some deals, whatever the case may be at the end of this whole thing or whatever. Because for real, she should have let go before she had that blow up. And she wouldn't have had that blow up. You had that blow up because you're contradicting yourself, and you're sabotaging. I'm lost for words for what I really want to say, but you're not staying true. Like C-Way said, you're not being authentic to self in this moment. So you're struggling right now, trying to figure out how to keep balance with a person that you don't like on national TV and pretend like you like them for real, and make it look believable. Not everybody can do that. Everybody is not a great actor. Now, on the other hand, Edmund is a damn great actor on having y'all act like he is this slow, special needs child or whatever and stuff like that. I think for sure that he is playing a whole character. That's just my opinion. It does not have to be true or whatever. He could still be on a spectrum or whatnot, but I do think he is playing a up character for sure on camera. Because all this, just say something nice to me. She has. You can do that all you want, Easton. She has.
What she say nice?
Ain't no way I'm gonna be sitting here saying that's my man supporting. If I don't, I feel like she don't even agree with his style of dress. I'm not about to support it if I don't agree with it and stuff like that. I don't have.
What she say nice? Tell me what she said nice. What she say nice?
What she say nice?
When we see her kiss him, what she say nice to him? When we see her kiss him, show any affection.
Easton,
Don't
you
go
like
there,
to miss.
Easton.
Easton like to miss everything when he don't like somebody. I swear.
Exactly. He missed everything. Easton, I need you to go rewatch the whole season.
She was putting up with him because she saw the brand deal. She was putting up with him like y'all are capping right now.
can
I'm
put up
putting
for
the end of this. I'm putting the end of this because we saw Alan in them broccoli draws. We saw Alan in them broccoli draws, and we had things to say about this. No,
y'all had things to say.
Y'all
had things to say. Okay, that's not the person.
Y'all think because she didn't say nothing, she was saying
do
nice
you think
stuff.
gold diggers just sit here and just not say nothing nice to the person that they digging off of? Come on now.
Okay, I love that. Elsid.
I love Easton's revisionist history. I love it. But you know what? It's in HD, okay? She has kissed that man from Reveal. She has kissed that man several times. She initiates most of their kissing. So Easton, I need you to go watch it in like half a second, stretches, but she has held this man's hand. The one time he's initiating touch is to rub her feet and stuff like that. She has even said, "You want to come rub my feet? Come on now, Easton. I'm going to need you to pipe down. I'm going to need you to pipe down about the whole affection thing." Because there's a whole lot of couples on here we could roast for a lack of affection to each other on camera. But I'll leave that alone. Now, going back to the topic at hand.
Let's just say this real quick. Elle said she ain't at least had to get drunk to do it.
Oh.
She didn't have to coax the bartender.
Who got drunk? Which one got drunk?
Joe.
He was drunk anyway.
Yeah, but he had to get through it. Intoxicated. Okay? Putting in that work while intoxicated. But we ain't talking about Joe right now. Okay?
That's my bestie.
Sorry.
I love Joe.
Ignore Seaway with this Joe fixation, please.
Hey, she's entitled to have her favorites. So for this, I do blame both of them for getting here. He asked her to marry him, and she said yes. Also, at Reveal, her look on her face was not, infatuation to me. Okay, but we keep on going down this train. You're trying to show me that you like this man. Show me that you're okay. Edmund is not my cup of tea at all. He's a little too high strung, a little too exuberant. I'm not gonna go to the limit and say that he ain't fit to be nobody's head of household. I ain't going that far because it ain't my head of household, but somebody may like it in their household. But the thing is that it takes two people. It takes two people. In this talk, calling him out of his name is where she goes, further for me. Calling him out his name tells me the relationship is over. If it ain't over for her in her mind because it came out, it should be over for him. And if it's not over for him, that is where I have a huge problem with Edmund, that you're willing to stay here and take this. Take this. You're willing to stay in a relationship with a woman who it just, as y'all say, it slid off her tongue to call you out your name. You're going to be dealing with this for the rest of your life. Now, I would like to know from KB if she has worded this like this to men that she has dated and really liked and had affection for. I would have a question with that because Easton, I understand you're shaking your head, but it may come off if I'm angry enough because she says this is not who I no longer wish to be. So it tells me she may have done it in the past with other people, other men, calling them out there.
They hemmed her up. She dates the dude's named Tyrone.
We don't know that. We are assuming she dates Tyrone's. That we have no evidence of that. Okay, we're assuming that. Okay, but right now she is engaged.
Easton, are you stereotyping KB?
Yes, he is. Based on her IG, he is. Is
that nice, Easton?
Absolutely
no, it is not.
Okay,
I'm willing to admit it's not. But we making assumptions based off the limited information that we get from the show. So I don't. They on the show. I feel like this is fair game. But she's part of the protected group. So I'm gonna shut up now.
Wait, one question, Elsa. I just want you to answer my question. Would you date Edmund?
Me?
No, Elsa. I know you wouldn't.
Easton. Oh no, I would.
Oh Lord. Okay,
I'm diabolical.
No.
I'm diabolical.
Okay, let's table that, Elsa, because you're gonna throw me off.
See, wait,
like thrown off.
You fell right into that trap. I thought you was better than that, Seaway. Come on now. You got to put your legal hat on with El Cid.
It's off. It's off. I wanted to know if Easton would date Edmund since he got his cape on. That's all I just wanted.
No, the problem is that KB should have dropped that man when she saw him at the reveal when he did the high knees. She didn't do that. Then
no, we agree on that. We agree on that. I'm just saying because you going on like she was supposed to give him all these things. Like, so I was confused.
I think every little barrier was just because she didn't like him. Everybody's saying that the sex talk was about boundaries. It was because she didn't like him. If she would have, it wasn't because I'm just gonna make an assumption. Oh, I've been reformed and I've worked over myself for 8 months, and now I'm just gonna put this boundary up to protect myself.
She said it in the pods, though. She told
I get that. I get that. Everybody can say that in the pods. I'm saying we've seen people, Tyler and Ashley. Oh, I'm working on myself and I don't want to do anything. And if they like you, things happen. Your boundaries might move a little bit. She didn't like Edmund and she didn't like him at the reveal, and it just continued to exasperate and showcase itself throughout the process with him.
Real quick, Easton, I just want to stop you because it doesn't matter if she likes him or doesn't like him. You continuing to hyperfixate that she doesn't like him and that's why she didn't want to have sex with him doesn't matter. The conversation itself it doesn't matter, because guess what? She gets to say she doesn't want to have sex with him.
That wasn't the context.
Because this guy is brown today. It's because she feels this guy is brown today. And every time you try to take it back to she just didn't want to have sex with him because she didn't like him, just spins the block on the conversation of coercion.
That's not the point. My whole point was
entitlement.
Can I speak for a person with a coochie on this daggone panel?
Dick, what we got?
I said for one of the people like us on this panel that with a coochie. Okay, for the person on this panel with a cooch. You know what I'm saying?
What, you listening?
Let me be the OBGYN.
There's times that, I'm going to be real right now, real frank. There's times that it's been people that I probably didn't like so much that might have got a little something. And there's some people that I liked but didn't get it for a reason or another. So because I have a time frame on my cooch does not mean I like you or not. I might actually like you more while I'm holding out a little bit, which is kind of weird. Y'all not going to understand it. But when I like you, I might hold out a little bit more because I want to give you the best cooch ever. You know what I'm saying? So I might just wait out a little bit. So I don't know, Easton, and where your logic come in at, because I don't like a person, I'm supposed to just I like a person, I'm just supposed to get it up on the first night type thing. Like,
I never said that. I said, let's look, we're gonna move on past after this.
If you heard the conversation, she said in the conversation she's had made men wait before, as well as
we're not talking about that.
You catch her at the right time, you caught her at the right time.
We're not talking about that.
No, because we were talking about just what you want to talk about.
No, the conversation wasn't Edmund saying, hey, I want to get some coochie tonight. No, he wasn't like, hey, I want to sleep with you. He was wondering what would make him different than other people. That was it. She was the one who brought up the conversation. It wasn't even Edmund pressuring her. He said, had other conversations. And again, I think this is something that the editors may have, hinted how they were sitting on the bed and they were talking about this. But this isn't him being like, I want some coochie tonight. Why I don't get no coochie? No.
Wait, I'm confused. I'm confused because now you done threw me off. I thought maybe Jay and Sean misunderstood you, but now I don't know if they did because I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying that she did not like her like from the get-go. She didn't like him. The ick was there. It was point blank period. As soon as she saw him run.
Okay, we all can agree to that. Okay, maybe we can agree to that. I don't know if we can agree to that.
Maybe people don't. My continued argument or discussion was throughout the course of their relationship, it was different barriers and different things that she was picking up along the way to say that I don't like this man, and it just continued to exasperate time and time again. The sex thing was one aspect, but then how she was nitpicky, how she always she was counting all the things that Edmund could have done differently. eventually it turned into contempt when she called him the B word. But I'm
you
saying
don't think, but Easton, you don't think it's possible that the more she got to know him, the more she was agitated? Do you understand
I agree.
the possibility?
I agree, but I'm also saying I also will keep space to say that she never liked him in the beginning.
But you always keeping space for some mess, Easton. You always be holding space for some mess. Why is that?
Easton,
I saw it.
Easton,
I know when a girl don't like it when she if you look at her.
I honestly don't think she liked him. I ain't gonna lie. I actually agree.
I'm not gonna die on that hill.
He did not like him,
did or
and I think
didn't,
anybody who says he liked him is lying. I'm gonna be honest with you, because all of you all said yourself when you saw Easton, you didn't think it was gonna be working either. When you see KB and you see her, you already know
Easton or Edmund. You see, you're switching their names up again.
Hold on. You already know it wasn't gonna work. When you saw
I think
KB,
she wanted to like him.
When you saw let's be honest now. Let's not lie about it. When you saw KB and you saw her, what was your honest opinion? Were you like, oh my god, this is gonna work? We all knew in the back of our mind, we don't say it out loud, like this ain't gonna work. Like you can see her.
Honestly, if Edmund didn't start running and flapping his arms, he would have been handsome. I was actually looking at him.
But he started flapping his arms. That's the point. But he
got the edge.
No, that's
why
the
you
point.
can't discount
that right there.
But he did.
Because you trying to make it as if you seen him. If I seen him walk in the room normal, like Seaway is saying, he's a handsome dude. So you're making it as attributes. His attributes is what turned her off. No, it's with his characteristics and with the things that he do. That's always going to be a turn off. Y'all always hear women say, "I will F a man as soon as I see him on site," but he talks to me and he gets put out that category.
But does he match the baddie
at the very
aesthetic?
beginning, his characteristics were always there. Him being on a spectrum was always coming through that wall. Let's stop pretending as if it wasn't coming through the wall. It was always there. KB is a social worker. She's not blind and she's not dumb. She actually would have seen it and would have felt it. So her ignoring that, we already knew she was like me personally. I think she's manipulative too. I think personally she had a game plan once she recognized that nobody was, because let's be honest, nobody else was really matching her speed. Edmund's that guy, and I think a lot of people go on the show too as well. They have another agenda. Like if I can't get it, I'm gonna get at least something out of this, right? I'm not gonna waste my time. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So I think that part is manipulative, right? But I'm gonna be honest, from my perspective, I don't think she ever liked him. Blood. If I'm honest with you, I don't think she ever liked him. And I think what Easton's also saying is that, and I'll say it again. I've rarely ever seen a woman call a man a B word simply for the fact that, and on when we're looking at their relation, the progression of it, it's usually because their content was already there. The content was already there from the very beginning. You never liked that dude, and a lot of you women settle. Not you, per to the panel, but a lot of women settle, and then they tell us a story about how, oh no, I tried. No, you didn't like him in the beginning. You were desperate for marriage. You were desperate for a relationship, and you chose a person. And you chose this person who you didn't like.
Saying like is a very broad thing. So what like are you talking about? She didn't like what about him?
She didn't like.
I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna say physically. I'm gonna say also in him as a person, as a characteristic, because that spectrum was coming through the wall. If she can't spot the fact that he was on a spectrum through the wall, I'm gonna tell you this now. She's not a good social worker. Because any of us who would have heard him speaking would have heard the iterations and heard the behaviors. Him screaming out, "I love you, KB," from the very beginning. What the hell? Like, so we don't question it. Your mind wouldn't start going off an alert.
Kojo, can I give you another perspective? Of course. Personally, I believe it was multiple things at once. It was one, she saw that he was different, and that would be an easy way to find somebody on the pods. I don't think that she wanted a lot of attention when it came to her selection. But also, back to my Keisha Kaur thing, I think low key in the back of her head, she thought that she could get a kind of kooky person that would be her person. I think she was like, he's kooky, but he's going to be my person. Whatever little tweaks he got, I can work with it, and he's going to be my person. I don't really feel like the tides turned for real to what you're saying, Easton, and Kojo, what you're insinuating, until he told that lady he was going to go call security. If a man was grabbing his, I think that was when she was like, I can't do it. Personally, hell, that would have been it for me.
She only presented that question because she was testing him. It was another test.
She had an idea, but that solidified it.
No, when a girl likes you, she's not going to test you.
She's not disagreeing with that. You like to talk for women. That's what's crazy. When a girl likes you, we're women on the panel.
Okay, well, I hope you had
it's four different women on the panel telling you how.
In my anecdotal experience, I've had a woman ask
me some questions. In your experience.
In my experience, that's why I said anecdotal, so it could be both. what I'm saying is when you get the SHIT test, it's because she really don't like you. She really trying to check for you to disqualify you even more. You might not have anything on the outward exterior to give her enough ammo to disqualify you, but in her mind, like, she's just trying to find another reason. And that was another point. If she really liked him, she would have never asked him the question. The same with Allie and Anton.
Easton, you know what this tells me?
What?
It tells me you gentlemen still have a lot to learn about what goes on into a woman's mind. That's okay. That's okay, though. You're learning.
All right. So you asking all your dudes,
you're learning.
Hey, you gonna defend me in the club with the roughnecks?
I don't like hypotheticals, but I do know women who will ask it.
Y'all ain't gonna.
Yes,
the jury.
She's the kind of woman who would.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask them questions. I have asked him questions. Okay.
No, I'm saying all your dudes. All your dudes.
Stop right now.
All your dudes, you ask them a question.
Off the list right now.
All the dudes.
On a lot of your behaviors. Yes.
All the dudes you ask.
But here, where's both of you are right is this: women do test. So women are right. Women do test. Some women do. Some women do actually test. Here is the connection, though. They test because they already. If you look at someone like Mr. Edmund, of course you're going to test him on the physicality because the way he presents himself and the way he moves. You wouldn't question him if he had an energy about him which was already presenting that he could defend you. You wouldn't need to. You test him on something else. The tests come when we're not sure about the characteristic of that particular person and whether they can fulfill it. So that's what I'm saying to you. On the jump, when she saw the energy that he came with, she could tell that he's a little bit. So I need to test him on that particular area. So both parties are right, but I'm just saying to you that she's testing him in that particular area because she didn't feel like he's somebody who's going to defend her, right? And she probably ended up being right. I'm not gonna lie to you. He answered it, and he ain't gonna defend her for nothing. But the reality of the situation, I honestly, personally feel like she never really liked him. Like that. I mean, but hey, listen, the ladies are telling us they can grow in this attraction. They always tell us all this, and every week we prove them wrong because every time they come out, they're gonna call us a little B word and call us sexy, call us all these words because you don't like that man. You never did. Okay, so
the reason why he needed to do that.
Try again.
She wanted to test him because of the moth. Are we forgetting that? Like, he wouldn't kill a moth. And she was looking at him like he was crazy.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like to kill the bugs.
He didn't want to kill the bugs.
Yeah,
he said he doesn't want to the look she gave him.
That was another.
She had that's when she got the ick.
That's
right
unnecessary.
There. Oh, he's not just eccentric. It doesn't matter. She's looking at him like, oh, he can't even kill a bug for me. Like, what else is he not willing to do? That's when she got the ick right there. That's when she felt like, oh, I gotta go test this man. To Kojo's point,
said the man can't love animals. He can't have an animal loving feeling.
He's a back wheel. Edmund the back wheel.
When in Rome is a perpetual troller, so nobody's paying her anything.
Hey, Mr. L said don't kill moths, and it's okay. It's okay.
You asking him if you're gonna fight for you in the club?
No.
There you go.
That's my point.
I need you to kill
I
that
don't need to ask him.
Question, Kojo.
It's okay. The panel, y'all want pistol whipping fellas. Okay, I see what y'all want. Y'all want people to pistol whip.
Yes, I do, Easton. Okay, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want to hold those.
Easton, have you answered these questions? Have you been asked?
Yeah.
Have you answered?
Yes.
Easton, you calling security, Easton?
No, I got like LC knows, like I be boxing. I got hands. I'm perfectly fine.
Easton calling security.
That's called organized sport, Easton.
Easton, I don't listen. Y'all can see what y'all want. That man has a physique, and I don't think that he is afraid to use his hands. He might be. I think Edmund is like me, where I be afraid of myself when I might black out. So I be chilling.
Yeah, you see why I had to sit down.
He's gonna be throwing them karate kicks. You saw them high kicks he was throwing?
How you gonna compare it to
the know what they gonna know?
First of all, y'all see me when I'm hangry. Y'all see me when I was hangry. So imagine if somebody take me out of character.
I think the only person who made me that mad was Sean. You're the only person who made me that mad.
No. Somebody else did in Houston too.
Oh, please.
That's right. That's taken all the way out. But let me get Precious last. Precious, you're the last person to speak on this, and we're gonna move it to another couple because we spent 2 hours on these people, and I love it. But we gotta get some other couples in. Yes, we're talking about KB and Edmund. the final say on these words. Don't feel pressured to agree with the ladies, okay? You can agree with the men on this panel as well, apart from Sean. Sean doesn't agree. But you can agree with the mandem as well. It's not a crime, okay? You don't have to be forced and coerced into that. Just saying.
Not all the man, just
real
the two on the outside. I want to differentiate myself from you, trigger trolls.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me. Can you
Yes,
oh no,
we
we
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
We hear you.
I was gonna say, I was like, guys, please give me some feedback. No, okay, I agree. I don't think KB liked Edmund from the start. I don't think that she did. I also think the reason why it went this far is I said it in the chat, I don't think KB had many other options in the pots. I think Edmund might have been her only option, and I think that's why it went as far as it did. The reason I'm saying that is the first time that we saw her talk to Edmund, it was a lot of trauma dumping immediately. Like it went from 0 to 100 immediately. There was a lot of trauma being dumped right in that moment, and she kind of egged it on a little bit. I think she kind of turned into almost like a therapist a little bit in her interactions with him. And from what I saw from when she was interacting with him, it didn't feel like dating. It felt kind of almost like therapist and client at some point. And obviously I might be wrong, so we don't get to see everything. And of course I can't really say for her for sure if she did, but I just never really got the sense that she was in it completely. That doesn't mean that she couldn't grow to like him and more. I think she liked him enough to see what would happen. I don't think she was quite at that love point. And I, obviously I don't know for sure, but that's just what I saw. I think it's difficult to with the idea of saying, oh, well, you should have been able to pick up on the fact that he might be on the spectrum. I think that's a tricky line that we're going down there a little bit, so I don't want to go down there really. But I will say there's definitely some emotional regulation issues there with Edmund. And you can see it in how they interact when conflict comes up, and how he dissociates when she's kind of coming at him a little bit. You can see he just shuts down. You see it in his face, he completely shuts down. And he, I don't know if you remember, there was a point where he was sitting in the kitchen. You could see his hands, he was so anxious. And he was so you could see that what was going on in his head, but his face was completely shut down. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was basically when they're in the kitchen and KB was kind of coming at him. I think it was after the rodeo. And the camera panned to his hands and was there for a while. You could see he was anxious. His hand was flipping, it was moving around. But his face was completely shut down. There was no emotion, no reaction, no nothing. So there's a lot of emotional regulation stuff going on. And I think that for them, it's just it doesn't really make sense. And I guess with the whole not wanting to sleep with him, honestly, I think from KB, whether it's because she doesn't find him attractive or not, I actually think that's a good idea to do in these kind of shows, because you see what happens when sex gets involved. Madison wouldn't be crying the way she was crying if her and Joey weren't doing whatever they're doing. Annie or whatever her name is wouldn't be going crazy over Nick if they hadn't. Like I said, I think when you're going into these kind of shows, withholding sexual interaction is actually a really smart idea to help you from over investing for something you're not completely sure whether or not you're going to move forward with. As for his reaction to it, again goes back to my point of that emotional regulation and what's happening there for whatever reason that might be. So yeah, I don't think they were equally yoked when it comes to how they manage conflict, emotions, and everything like that. And I just don't think there was enough there to really make it work. As for the whole moth thing, for him not killing them off, I think really and truly he doesn't have to kill them off. I think the issue that she was really finding was that he didn't come to a solution. Okay, fine, don't kill them off, but get a piece of paper and a glass and take the moth out and free it outside. Again, with even the conversations about, oh, would you defend me? I think it's not even necessarily that you have to be violent or you have to be the man that's going to start punching people, but it's also thinking about, in times of conflict or issues or distress, are you going to take over and take control of the situation so that I don't have to be the one to have to then take control of the situation. However you want to take control, whatever solution you want to give, that's fine. But show me that you're going to do it. And I think that's what she was looking for. And I think if he had found a way to show that, I think she would have been okay with the answer. I think because there was no answer. It was kind of like, well, I wouldn't do that. Okay, but what would you do then? How would you solve it? How would you problem solve? Are you solution based or not? What are you going to do? You know, if I see a bug and I'm scared and I'm not happy with it, are you just going to be like, oh, I can't touch it because it's a bug? Or are you going to do something to remove the bug that still aligns with your values of not killing the bug? It's all of those things that come into play to show, like, how are you going to lead and take control when the situation arises in which I don't feel comfortable. And she said it in the pods of like, when I don't feel strong enough to carry, are you going to do that for me? And he was like, yeah. That didn't come up after the pod. It didn't happen. So I think it's as simple as that. I don't think it's as convoluted as that. I just think that she was expecting Edmund to show up in ways that he'd promised he would, and he unfortunately just couldn't do that.
Appreciate it, Precious. By the way, your noise background is very, very loud. So just before your next speaking, maybe just give yourself some headphones or something just so that the noise doesn't catch you, you know, so we can get the fullness of your goodness that you brought to the table, especially when you agreed to the two men on this panel, which we appreciate because we all knew that the truth was the truth. So thank you very much for that, Precious. Darling, you got a minute. You wanted to add time. You got a minute, and then we got to move on. So you got literally a minute. Short, nice and sweet.
Yes. Okay. Precious, agree with everything you just said. Also, I think the reason why Edmund can't do any of what you just recommended, I think he has a lack of empathy, not on like some sociopathic, psychopathic level. I mean, like child level, like I can't put myself in another person's shoes. So even when he's talking about in the pods, oh, I'm gonna, yeah, I can help you out. I can be there for you. It's like, no, you can't. He cannot put himself in another person's shoes. That's why he keeps repeating the same thing over and over again. Why he keeps saying, I love you, and there's nothing else left to say. Why he can't offer any real accountability. It's why he can't. It's the reason why he comes off very me focused, because that was one of KB's complaints, is that he's self-absorbed. Yeah, he is self-absorbed. It's because he only knows his own internal world, his own internal landscape. He doesn't really understand other people. I don't think he really has the ability to do that. I really don't. Does that mean he lacks the capacity? No. I'm wrapping up. He has the capacity to learn, but it would take concerted effort. Like Sean was saying, he would have to go into therapy and try, and it would be very painful, which sucks. Nobody likes pain. And he would just have to suck it up, buttercup, and deal with that.
Nice.
That's what it would take. Yeah, so he would have to do that. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Dahlia. All right, before I move on, let me just quickly just appreciate those people who've come to membership as well. Shout out to Rennie S77. We appreciate you as well. Thank you very much. He also gifted a free membership to other people as well. So thank you very much, Renee, as well for that. Or Renee, I should probably even say. Happy 123. Shout out to you as well for joining the membership. And also your girl, Charles, as well for joining the membership as well. It's good to have you guys on board. You know, we like to have our panels where we get to have an eclectic array of different opinions and thoughts as well. So you know, some of us are a bit more eccentric than others, and that's what makes this show wonderful and amazing. Who's eccentric? I'm not saying who. They know who they are. If they don't, they'll find out. The chat will normally tell them. Listen, shout out to Seaway with the 5 memberships as well. Thank you very much, Queen. We appreciate you for always supporting as well. Thank you very much. You know, I gotta play my little clip because you decided to bless this channel and others as well with the grace of giving. Because you know what? When you do that, you gotta say that.
Who are you?
My name is a pimp named Slickback.
That's right. We appreciate Seaway for dropping those 5 memberships as well, and supporting others to be able to join the conversation in the chat as well. So if you're here and you're enjoying, make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, but make sure also you are hyping up this video. We just spent almost 2 hours on KB and Edmund. Yes, you've got your weekly fix. I know you guys were waiting for that. But let's talk about another runaway groom. Okay, all right? Because since we want to talk about who likes who, I bet we might agree on this. I personally think Joe never liked Madison. He did not find her attractive. Oh, we all shaking our heads. Oh, we know that one, don't we? We can say that one.
He for sure doesn't like.
He was growing in attraction. You know what I mean? Like he was growing.
He was trying.
He was, you know.
He was trying to grow in attraction. He was growing in that bottle.
He was testing her by drinking and seeing where it led to. That's what he was doing. He was testing her.
Y'all are terrible.
He said it clear as day. He said it out loud.
Exactly. Thank you, Elsie. Because Kojo just be trying to start trouble.
No, but wait, hold on. The reason why I'm saying this is because then I look at him as being manipulative, personally. If you never liked that person from the beginning, which is I'm going to put in the same category as KB, I have to be consistent. If you didn't like that person from the very beginning, I see you as being manipulative because you know that you did not like that person from the beginning. Like, and all that trying that you were trying to do for me personally is manipulative. You never liked that person, and you were never going to get there. Like you weren't.
Him and KB is that he admitted it.
He may have admitted it. Yes.
You're going on assumption that she didn't because you feel some type of way. The rest, he literally told us.
Correct.
And he laid on the Delash. He kept on laying the Delash.
And then on top of it, thank you, El said he went for it in the bedroom where she didn't. So therefore, yes, very manipulative on him.
Tell you, would you have known that he didn't fancy her?
Yes.
Yes.
That's my point.
He said it. But the difference, like again, the difference is he said it. You're going.
But even if he hadn't said it, you'd have known.
No,
not necessarily.
So you wouldn't have known the fact that this man didn't find her attractive. You
Unless it was solidified. You could speculate.
Y'all cap. It's okay.
You can speculate. Like y'all speculate.
Yeah, but I think you just want to make those two things identical, and they're not. They're two.
I don't even remember him even saying he didn't fancy her. All I'm saying to you is I've been saying it from the very beginning because I gave a video on the end of KB and when she called him a B word, and I said I did a little review, and I said when she said something sexual about when they were having a dinner before the parents will come in or whatever, but she said a little sexual joke and he did not respond. I said, oh, that's confirmed for me. I don't need you to tell me that you don't fancy her. Like, I don't think we need to do that. We all could have seen without him saying it that he did not fancy her. You know,
even before that, Joe saw her in the reveal when he did his confessional. He said, "I don't normally date women her frame." So you can't just say, "Oh, I would have already." Once it's happened, it's already framed our thoughts. So I don't agree with that. I think when someone says it, it makes it plain. Can we make assumptions? Can we guess? Can we look at little things that they may do and make an assumption? Sure, but it's not the same as someone blatantly saying, "No, she's not my type."
I get that, but even
no. I asked you a question. Could you spot it if he didn't say that? And you can. My point is, why you couldn't do it with KB, but you can do it here. You can spot it. You would sit there and look at
I don't agree with you on that.
No. The same way where you'd be like, "Oh, I like this particular car." All of a sudden, you start seeing that particular car everywhere because that thought is in your head. Yes, it's already there. So yes, we can spot it. But had he gave us a chance and didn't say anything, we don't know. We don't know. All of this is speculation at this point because he already told us from jump, this is not my person.
But even before he said it, even before he said it, when he first saw her, when she came out, you could tell on his face that he did not find this woman attractive. You can always tell when the people who in the reveal don't find each other attractive because he wasn't even trying to kiss her like that. That's number one. He was in shock, total shock. This man was in shock.
I wasn't expecting this. He backed away from her.
Yeah, fully. Like he wasn't trying to hold her. He wasn't trying to touch her. He wasn't trying to he didn't look at her.
And he confirmed it right after the confessional.
No, but even before the confessional, I remember watching it with my friend going, he don't like her. Even before he even said anything, I was like, that man don't like her.
It.
Yeah,
so
but I even
thought, speculate on after that. We don't have to speculate on anything after that.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that you could see it even before he said it.
It's all speculation with KB because KB has never confirmed anything that we saw.
And she initiated this kiss at reveal with Edmund. She initiated it.
I understand that, and I'm not with Kojo trying to compare it. I'm just trying to say when I saw him see her, I immediately was like, that man does not find this woman attractive. It was the same reaction that what's her face, Casey gave to Patrick. As soon as Casey and Patrick saw she could do all the kissing she liked, I saw it in her face. She did not like that man. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not comparing it to the KB situation. I'm just saying, me personally, when I saw that reveal between Joey and Madison, I saw it in his face. He didn't like her. Then he actually confirmed it. But even outside of that, you could see in how he moved. When they went to the Mexico and he was there and they were all together as a group, he was not trying to spend any time with this woman.
None.
He was with his friends. He didn't even want to be over there and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, let me give you a quick kiss. Nothing. He was there getting drunk.
With Jordan.
The bartender were connecting.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying, that those kinds of things, when a man doesn't really like a woman like that, his proximity to her gets further and further. If a man likes you, he wants to be around you. Now, he might not be around you all the time, but he will be seeking you out, even if it's looking over you, coming to say, hey, do you want a drink? Hey, you okay? Just checking in. Like all of these things. He was not doing that. And when she came over to try and reconnect, he didn't take that opportunity to reconnect with her. He was gone at that point. So at that point, I was like,
in his attraction.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, it just wasn't gonna work. Like from the jump, that man just wasn't into her. And the fact that he had sex with her is that's the point where I'm like, you are wild. Because you know full well you don't find this woman attractive, but you still took her to bed. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen in real life. Of course it does. But at least with KB was like, hey, I'm not trying to open my legs here. We're not doing that because I'm not trying to do it with you. But he went and slept with the woman multiple times. And she was there. She was there telling her friends, the sex is amazing. We have such great sex. And I'm like, Lord God, this woman don't know that this man. I mean, hey, it could have been, because it could have been okay. But the situation that this woman is out here saying that the sex is amazing, and this man is over here, can't even stand to be next to her. And I just felt really bad for her. I felt so bad, especially because when you take into her context of her condition, that's even worse. That's even worse, my guy. Oh.
Who's next?
Joe told us in so many words he did not fancy Madison. He told her to her face at the reveal. He said, this, whoa, whoa. And he kept pulling back. He kept pulling back saying, whoa, I did not think this is what was going to come in front of me. I didn't think this, and it's like, he kept pulling back. She kept trying to snuggle to him. He kept pulling back. And, and then he told us in his confessional he told us in Mexico that she's a little bigger than he's used to. When he left, he told us the problem is he was conflating this and letting her believe that he was really interested, that he really wanted to marry her and be with her. He placed the delash on her, the best she ever had. She was arguing with this man. She was crying in the corner, too loud for him. She was taking a whole bunch of stuff because he was confusing her. She actually thought he really did like her and was going to make a game for it. Again, as Precious said, the people who are not confusing and putting the flesh in between it, they at least have clarity of mind. They're not being confused by all of it. And Joe was confusing her because she's walking around telling everyone they have a wonderful relationship. The delusion she had already. But he was conflating it with the extra stuff, He couldn't even care that she was tripping over stuff in the dimly lit hotel room. He really didn't care for this woman at all. At all. He was drunk. At least he found himself to the correct hotel room and he's asleep, and that was it. Joe is very much selfish. As you pointed out, he wasn't even checking if she needed drinks. He wasn't checking on her. He knew that she couldn't see. He left the room dimly lit when she's coming back. She's tripping over stuff. He showed in his actions, Kojo, many a time, he couldn't care for her. He was hanging out with Jordan. She was standing next to him when she walked off. He didn't even realize she left. He placed no importance on this lady. Again, I'm sorry. I know Seaway, he's a favorite of Seaway. That could be her. But Joe showed us many a ways he did not care for Madison, even though he was laying the pipe to her. I'm sorry.
Joe couldn't even hold this lady when she was sliding down the wall crying several times. But he can pipe her down on many occasions. So if y'all want a KB comparison, this is what I'll give you. They both had motives. They both had motives at the end of the day. I think Joe's motive was to grow an attraction by physical, by the physical, and it probably didn't work. She still didn't lay it down there. sorry, sis, but hey, listen, it was like that liar scene with Jim Carrey when he was just, it was all right. it was all right. My man was getting drunk to be with her. The only person that was really lying to themselves was her. Cause sis, I don't know how many more ways that man can tell you that he don't like you, but you want to believe in the sex of it all? When we know that men, for the most part, since we like to categorize people, men for the most part would just sleep with you anyway. Now, not Sean, but these other two up here, I'm not sure about. Okay, I'm not sure about. Sean, you a good man, Sean. You know what I'm saying? But these other two.
Cordia say he saved Jay.
When? What'd he say?
Don't worry about me.
I'm out of Egypt. You know, I got a boundary now. You know, I got
you know
boundary.
me? Bro.
Yeah, now.
Boundary.
Now.
We both.
You heard the key word now.
Now.
Praise Sean for being a good man on this panel, okay? Hold on. Anywho. But yeah, we knew that from jump that man did not like her. However, he continued to lay down with her. So that is also a problem, especially knowing that she was a level 7 clinger. That lady cray. Okay, that cry she was giving, talking about, she was basically like, just sleep with me one more time before you go. That was one of them cries, okay? And we could just hold me tight real quick, just one last time before you go. All right. And then just be like, well, okay, let's just pack her bags. What? I don't know. Denver got some cray-crays, okay? It's a lot of delusional going on out there. It's a lot of, I don't know what. But my stance is still, if you're going to sleep with a person that you know you don't want, you know is a little cuckoo, and you got some sense on you, and you want to keep telling us, I don't know, but the family just confirmed my decision, but I really want to be with you. I'm going to marry you. No, you know what? I just decided I can't or whatever, but I can't sleep with you. I can't hold you. I can't do a lot of things with you, but I will sleep with you if we naked. Like, very manipulative. I don't know what you was trying to get out of it. You know you don't want to watch that lady when she take a step. You almost let her fall in the pool or whatever. The family reminded you how much you don't want to take care of her if the day comes you have to, because she can't see anything at all and stuff like that. She's out of the weight class that you prefer. He wasn't settling, so he should have just told her from jump, I can't do it. I just feel like, production was like, please stay. And he like, God, okay, I'm going to just stay for the free drinks. And when the free drinks was up, when we got back to the real world, he was like, all right, my time is up.
Definitely hear you on that. Elsie?
I went, so I was so, you didn't remember me. Okay, I understand.
Wait, what? Bro, listen. Hey,
I spoke. It was so not memorable. I understand.
You know what? My bad. You know me.
You didn't agree with him, Elsie. That's what it was.
I'm doing 3 or 4 things on the team. My bad.
I know. I'm in the shadows, Jay. I'm in the shadows.
I apologize. Let's move on. Sean, sorry. Elson, sorry, I apologize. Sean, this is why you need to pay attention. This is what happens. You mess up. What's your thoughts on this Joe and Madison situation as well? Because he ran away eventually, you know.
Yeah. Now I think he hates her. But I think he has reason to hate her because she's completely annoying. Completely. I've never met a more annoying person in my existence. I thought that girl that was with the one that claimed she looked like what did she claim? Jessica, whatever she claimed she looked like. Fox, whatever the girl that was
Which
talking
one of
about
them made that
uncomfy.
comment?
The
This
uncomfy.
season, I know, but one of them made that comment this season. At least I'm not claiming to be Megan Fox.
Right. I thought that was that Madison? I don't know.
Was that Madison that said it?
I don't know. I thought
Interesting girl.
whoever that girl was, whatever her name was, I thought she
Chelsea.
was the most annoying. What's her name?
Chelsea was the girl that said that Megan Fox thing.
Chelsea. Yeah, I thought she was the most annoying one that has gray star screens, and Madison has topped her. Because with just from the moment he was drunk and she's like trying to have a coherent conversation, I knew the level of delusion that she had was strong. You know, now he was wrong for sitting up in front of her parents and telling them that he was going to take care of her and that her being visually impaired didn't matter, but it did. He was wrong for that. But she, although she is visually impaired, she also is mentally impaired because she missed all the signs of the fact that he hated her. Every single moment. He's laughing, she's crying. He hates her. She's like, I can't live without you. She hates her. He's breaking up with her. She's falling to pieces and falling all over the wall. He's like, I feel relieved. This just had to be done. She can't even tuck her shame. She's like, you're not going to sleep with me anymore. He was like, I'm going to have to, it's the burden I'm going to have to bear, babe. Like, I kind of felt bad for her, but then I'm like, this is somebody like that. Like when the delusion runs so strong in somebody, you need to be hit with a freight train. And the freight train was Joe, because the way he broke up with her, the way he tore out of that tuxedo fitting, left his groomsmen in the wind, like he was running from the law. Yeah, Joe needs to be studied because Seaway's entertained by him. I'm sure she'll come back and sing his praises, but he's not ready to open an envelope, let alone open somebody's wedding vows and give them. Yeah, he's very unserious. He's not together. He's busy focusing on all the wrong things. But unfortunately, I think that was the only thing that Madison was gonna like. She was delusional. Like I've never seen like how thick she missed all the signs, all of them. So I feel bad because he was rude, but I kind of also think she deserved to just like, that was the only thing that was gonna get to her.
Well, I don't think I've laughed so much, boy. Let me let one of your twins go. Seaway, yes, Joe.
I'm just here to agitate Sean. First of all, Joe is one of my favorite people that have ever been on Love is Blind. He is my absolute favorite. Every time he is on the screen, I am crying, laughing. Joe can do no wrong in my eyes. When that man took off running out of that tuck store, I was crying. Like I was actually crying, laughing. And then his black friend looking out the window like a sad kid. I was crying. Joe is funny as hell. And to me, I feel like Joe is me. If you acted crazy in my face, I'm just going to laugh. All he does is laugh at Madison. What I will say, I'm not convinced that Joe hated her. I think Joe did like her. I think Joe is like KB. Like, I feel like he liked her a little bit. Like, he almost liked her. He tried to like her. I think she was slightly a little bit too big for his taste and way too agitating for his taste. I'm also not convinced that even if he had the perfect girl, he would have got married. I'm not sure he really wanted to get married at that point either. He could have had the perfect girl. He would have messed it up. I think Joe is misunderstood. I think Joe be trying to be nice. He be trying to be the man that a lot of the women on here ask for. He's polite. He don't be cussing her out. He did not call her fat to her face. He was doing all the things that y'all asked him to do. All he did was laugh at her. Joe deserves the world. Okay. He truly deserves the world. I'm very entertained by Joe. Madison begging is so agitating. I don't ever want to see a woman beg again. That breaks my heart. Don't ever beg for a man. Even if it is Joe, and I love Joe, don't beg for Joe. There's plenty of Joes out there. But Joe, as Sean would say, he's a frat boy. He believes he deserves his size 2 queen. He does have a size 2 queen right now. That's what he wanted. He wanted his white size 2 queen. He got her. And I hope Madison just finds somebody who appreciates her and can deal with her and her annoying family, because they're all annoying, the whole family.
She should move to Texas. She'd clean up in Texas.
She's a size 2 now.
I said
she's not no size 2.
She ain't no size 2, but
she's not no size 2. You lying, Elsie?
Not with that frame.
But say that frame can't even be a size 2. Them shoulders are not a size 2. Elsie,
size 6 at best.
No, it's not shade. When you got certain
whoa,
size
whoa.
Not be a size 2.
No, that's no shame. I have the same frame.
It's okay. It's okay.
You get what I'm saying? Thank you, Dahlia. I'm not being shady.
Being
You
honest.
have a certain frame. You cannot be a size 2 unless you're a kid.
Not the double down of it all.
I'm not taking that back. It's true.
All right. So who hasn't gone yet?
Not y'all running from the size 2 of it all. I'm not a size 2 either.
You know, listen, I'm not in women's business. Do what you gotta do. I'm not in women's business.
This women's business.
Yeah, I'm staying out of business.
That's
Yeah.
the matriarchy. We gotta unpack and unlearn. We gotta reconstruct.
Know our place.
The Eurocentric what happened 20 minutes ago to the unpacking and the reconstruction
We
of it all?
unpacked it, but this is not our place. We recognize
Am I subscribing to the patriarchy?
Progressive learning is what means Eastern are learning here. Progressive learning, we progress.
We are learning,
and we recognize.
No, you're not subscribing.
I just want to know what people are mad at Joe
It's
about.
selective learning.
What are we mad at Joe about? What did he do?
Joe, no, he didn't want that woman, and he was still sleeping with her every night. Come on now.
Yeah, leading
But
her
she was-
on.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm mad at Joe for himself. That was betrayal of self.
He did. He betrayed.
He was
himself.
betraying himself every night, not just
He
Madison.
definitely did, because
Yeah,
you know when
that's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm mad at him.
You can tell he regretted having sex. Like he
And
regretted
Madison
it,
wasn't no victim. She was trying to get what she could get. People don't understand. There's women trying to get what they can get too. Madison knew she wasn't pulling Joe in real
Madison one of
life.
them. Maybe one of them. Maybe one of them. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, Madison wasn't pulling Joe in real life either. So she was trying to get what she could get.
Madison had terrible baddie management.
Or
Terrible
whatever
baddie
stuff like
management.
that. We just saying thank you, Easton. I'm gonna say your words right now. Poor D management from him. That's what I'm mad at. You know what I'm saying? Because you knew that lady was crazy, but you still gonna tip
And
them
she was
waters
gonna
anyway.
make the most out of her experience. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, what did Joe do? Everybody was making the most out of their experience.
Joe gave it to a stage 5 clinger, and she is clinging. He knew she wasn't all together there.
Hold on now.
Joe and his
You knew
step
this wasn't
position
all the way
himself.
there?
Okay.
Is that what we're going by now? Is that
Yeah,
what
she's gonna take whatever Joe gave her, but I'm mad at Joe for putting himself in that position. Okay.
He was.
We mad at Joe for being in a position, but we ain't mad at KB for.
Yeah, I said I was mad at KB.
Wait a minute.
Here, Edmund. Okay, Edmund.
Wait a minute.
Picking and choosing.
Joe proposed. Okay,
That's you,
Joe
Easton.
proposed.
They said Madison was DTF. I'm crying. She was.
She was. She had terrible baddie management with Joe. She was punching up in that situation. She was. What are we talking about here? Like we got to keep.
Joe was better looking, huh?
No, I'm saying that you could tell that she ain't never had nobody like Joe. I ain't saying that Joe ain't a bad looking guy, but I ain't saying that.
She said Joe a baddie.
And we can choose what we want to speculate. You know what I'm saying?
Terrible
They're
baddie.
at the same level. They're at the same level.
Joe be hitting. I ain't gonna lie to you. He be getting some baddies.
His girlfriend is fine. His girlfriend is
You goes fine. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Just because his girlfriend is good looking, just because his girlfriend is good looking, does not mean he is. Wait, just because his girlfriend is good looking does not mean he is good looking. Let's just get that one straight. Okay.
Hey, don't be judging for black eyes.
Let's stop it there. I'm not judging from black eyes. I'm judging from a girl. I'm judging from a girl who knows what a conventionally good-looking man is. Now, I'm not saying that he's ugly. I'm not saying he's ugly. I'm just saying let's relax ourselves now, please. I think Madison and Joe were equally yoked in their attractiveness. Okay, and we'll leave it there.
Pish posh.
Baby
Yes,
girl.
they were.
They
They
were.
were equally yoked.
That's my
You know,
point.
these ain't runnable.
They weren't equally yoked on that. I can't lie to you. I mean, it weren't bad.
Even if they were from a conventional attraction standpoint, Madison always looked to Joe as if he was the more attractive one in their relationship. That's why I said poor baddie management. It's the opposite way around. It's poor baddie management with Anton and Allie.
Nah, but I think that's more of a
not
body
why.
situation. I don't think it's because of like, I think she was already emotionally invested. I think maybe she already has her own insecurities because I think Joe and Madison, when it comes to attractiveness, are pretty much on the same level. But I get what you're saying, Easton. If you see that person as on a pedestal, that's how you're going to sort of move forward and behave. But I don't know if that's necessarily because she thinks he's better, or it's because she was already emotionally invested and could tell that he didn't like her, and then that just triggers her insecurities that she already had.
No.
Out of all the men, Joe is the lowest. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm
let
sorry.
Dahlia have a say, and we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Yes, Dahlia.
What we're seeing is dark artistry. Okay, we've already confirmed that Joe was never liking this girl. It's very clear throughout their entire relationship he was not into her, but he is a liar. Like, he flat out lied to her face. Because let's not forget, when they were on that catamaran, he apparently off camera, he had told her, you know, I don't know if I was really feeling you like that, but we're okay now. Because she confirmed it when they were talking to one another on the boat, right? And she flat out asked him, so are you attracted to me? He's like, yeah, I think you're very attractive. I think you're beautiful. I like you a lot. He said that. So he flat out lied to her. And this is on Madison, because she was doing that thing where she interrupts him. And so she kept cutting him off, and she wasn't allowing him to finish the point, which probably would have been him tripping up, lying more about how much he likes her. But he did flat out lie to her. That's number one. Number two, I think what ended up happening was, because to Precious's question about what's it called, about whether or not she was like deluding herself or something, or if she thought that he was better looking than her or something. No, I don't think that's the case. If you look at what she was dressing like, the girl was in a bikini on the first day. Like, she's not. I think her body is fine, and I think she's got some people who are after her. Like, she knows that she's a pretty woman. I don't think that's her issue. The issue is that Joe made her feel like she wasn't pretty just by how he carries himself and by how he's treating her. So the power is in his hands. And since the power is in his hands, now she's got to chase after him. And so what ends up happening is she's giving in to this man, and they're, you know, how do I put this in YouTube terms? They're having relations, right? And maybe she's thinking that that's going to be enough to woo him over, and it's not for him. He's disgusted by her. I don't even necessarily think that they're still having relations after Mexico is over with. I didn't get that impression. Like, she was talking all that, talking a real good game to the girls when they were in Mexico, trying to one up the other women. But after that, we didn't hear her talking about that anymore. I don't think he was.
She was insecure, terrible baddie management. That's
right, but not because of her body, but because of her relationship with him. They were not on the same level on that front, because he does not like her. So even though his words are saying he likes her, his actions are not saying that, and she knows that on an instinctual level. She knows that.
That's why Annie was tripping too, Dahlia. That's why, because Annie knew Nick wasn't into her. That's why she was asking all them questions.
Right, but she didn't have the words to articulate that.
Exactly.
So when she's drunk, she's
She
crying
didn't
all
put
over the
down the
place.
bottle either.
Same with Madison. When Madison was coming to check on Joe that first night, and she started falling apart and sliding down walls. I told you guys then, the reason why she's doing it is because she senses this man don't like her, but she can't be honest with herself or with him. She's not willing to confront him on that front. That's how we got all the way to this point where it's him having to do that. Now he got to be the runaway bride. Like, why are you taking it there? Why does it got to get to the point where he's the one who's telling you, you let that man take all the power, and so now he's the one who gets to break things off, and you over here dry begging this man to stay with you, girl, for what? Joe, really? Please, absolutely not.
To her, Joe is fine, and that should let you know all it is. That's why Easton keeps saying baddie management.
Baddie management.
He's a baddie. It's just bad.
But she wants to be married. I don't even think it's necessary.
That was Sean that said he a baddie. Nobody else said that. Sean and
No. Easton was saying baddie management.
No, baddie management is an Easton term.
She just wants to be married. That's all that is. I don't even necessarily think that it's about Joe.
Wait, I
because we
need
don't
Seaway
really
to
see
come
them
off
having
mute
any
real
real
quick.
conversations. It's just her wanting to be married and him choosing it. And choosing whom, I should say.
Seaway,
Joe
please.
and KD.
Hey, Easton. Thank you. What did Sean say?
Wait, what?
How I get in this? I've been sitting here mute this whole time.
I thought you said that Joe was a baddie with Easton.
I
I thought both of
never
y'all
said nothing stupid like that.
I didn't say Joe was a
That's
baddie. I
Coco
said
and Easton.
I said it was it's baddie management. It's baddie management. It's
I thought y'all both said that. I thought y'all both said Joe was a 10 out of 10.
No. Don't put me with the don't make us the Three Stooges.
Hey, I see what you're doing here. But the thing is, I find interesting
He's
what y'all
channeling her inner Joe, trying to create chaos.
She
Been
is.
quiet.
You know,
Trying
as
to
I
figure out
listen
what
on
I want to
this
eat for dinner because I'm starving.
as I listened on this panel, I found it really interesting that nobody was talking about how Madison was coercing Joe at the end, trying to put that thing.
You want to be a victim so
But y'all
bad.
know,
Oh my God.
Again, see where he only
How did he coerce Easton? Sorry, I don't know. I didn't see it. Let's let him land.
No.
What do you believe was coercion here,
What he
Easton?
wants
You
to
can
hear
say yes
because
or
I
no.
fully said how she was crying. Just give me
What
some
I
more.
thought
She wanted
was kind
something
of
to go eat.
coercive was the crying, even offering the cookies to Joe and cuddling as a way to get back
She
connected.
didn't offer the cookies, so don't do that. I said that. So don't do that. She didn't offer
No,
the cookies.
I didn't hear
She
none of
wanted
y'all
to be
say,
held.
"Oh, that's coercive." No.
She wanted to be held, okay, and hope it led to something.
This is a conversation
I said
that they
this.
had behind closed doors that they had to have again because editing need to record it. So you think that she was gonna say, "Oh, we just gonna cuddle"?
He said, I'm glad you be in the bedroom with them. Are you on production?
When they said it, that Joe had already broke it down to her that he didn't want to be in a relationship and that he was done, and they had to record it. Now, do you think when she said cuddle that she was just saying, "Oh, let's cuddle," and all the things that
She never said cuddle. She said hug, hold me.
Yeah, she didn't cuddle.
She was asking for comfort. That's all.
Can I just say one thing?
Okay.
I just want to clarify that the meaning of coercive is to manipulate through force and threat. Just want to put that there so that I just want you to be clear on what you're saying right now.
So you offering potential sexual or intimacy is not coercive. That's not by force. That's not by.
That's not by force.
That's not by force. That's not by force. You could say it's manipulative, but it's not coercive. It's not coercive. Like you could say she's trying to manipulate him, but she's not trying to coerce him.
First of all, in order
No, that's manipulation. That's not coercive.
Okay, so they're both being manipulative.
Yes.
Yes, you can't say
I was drawing
coercive.
back a parallel because I found that our conversation beforehand was rather interesting as we have this one now, when I felt like she was doing a lot, being very insufferable, but also I felt like her actions were being coercive because it seemed like every
Who's
time
she?
Joe,
Oh, you still talking about Madison here?
Yeah, I felt like Madison and
Okay.
Joe, like she kept trying to figure out ways and trying to figure out why things didn't happen and why they didn't get together and if it would have
That's
happened.
not. Yeah, no, that's not being coercive. That's just. Oh, what happened there?
I didn't do that. Sean messing around.
I like the
I'm
weird
not
look
doing
anyway.
it. It's
That's
Sean
what-
messing
Why
around.
is it just on
Sean
me? Why is
being
the camera
silly.
just on me?
He's
I'm
being
cute.
paid.
Why is
It's
it
on
on me?
TV.
Yeah, I love this lawyer look that you was giving because you was really trying to understand. I love it. Let me see your nail.
It's Sean, not me. I don't know what's
like
going on.
them too.
These are my nails. I had to cut them short because I play basketball with the kids now. So
That's cute.
The
I
kid,
like it.
she'll be trying to get us in trouble. Okay, sorry. Let me put it. There you go. Okay, we're gonna move on. Listen, we're gonna move on because we spend enough time on
Easton
you.
just
Thank
tries
you.
to
Thank you,
figure
Sean.
out. I don't know if you guys know.
saving
We're gonna
Easton again.
Easton
Coach, are you
tries to
saving
rope
him
people
again?
into nonsense,
We're
and
gonna
y'all
leave it
get
there. We're
roped
gonna
in
leave it
every
there.
time.
We
One
gonna
of these
listen
nights
to
you can't save him, Kojo. One of these nights you ain't gonna save him.
I save him when I save him, but I don't save him when I don't need to save him. You know what I mean? I can't agree with everything he said. You know what I mean? That's not, you don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything you guys say. You don't agree with everything I say. You know what I mean? So we're gonna shift it and move it to next one. Okay, all right. Let's talk about another couple. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong section actually. Hold on. Sorry, I'm wrong. I apologize. Damn, where is that clip? I need that clip, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to get Annie and Nick. There we go. There we go. Let's talk about this one here because let me just say this. I think Annie's manipulative, straight
It
through.
had no sound.
Oh, okay, had no sound. Okay, well then that's good actually because I think I played it more than 10 seconds. Hold on, let me play again for you guys.
Okay. I love you too. I was like, babe, I love you.
Well,
That was so dumb.
Annie and Nick. On this occasion, he broke up with her. He left her alone. And I think he held his boundaries very, very well. I think he gave a great instruction to anybody in this life about how to handle a breakup, how to handle, executing your boundaries without being rude or nasty or, dismissive, And I think he did a really great job in doing that. I do think that Annie, baby girl, we have to make sure everything's all right. Because man tried to break up with you and you told him no. He can't break up with you. He can't leave you. You know what I mean? She then told him, you need to try, and I mean, she was begging and pleading. And you know what? We've all had a moment. I can't say all of us, but, I'm sure some of us probably say they haven't had that. But, I know I've had a moment where it wasn't as bad as that. But I'm saying, we've all had a moment where we've had a little bit, you kind of begged it. You just really should have just left it. You know what I mean? You stayed a little bit too long. You said a bit too much, etc., etc. But this one was heavy. I mean, like, you know what I mean? So I want to get you guys' thoughts on Annie and Nick. Please keep the thoughts brief as well this time because, we still got a few more we've got to get through and I don't want to get past the 3-hour mark. Okay. On Annie and Nick. Want to get your thoughts, because we're already 2.5 hours in. Okay, the good Lord is calling me to sleep. Okay, rest is important. Sean needs to get to work. You know what I'm saying? Chew, shout out to my boy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we need to all get to bed at a reasonable time. Okay. What's your thoughts on Annie and Nick in this particular situation? How are we seeing her? Manipulative or not? By all means, don't all rush to the microphone. I will go straight to my psychologist. Presh.
Oh, damn it. I didn't want to go first. I think, I think Annie's reaction was just wild to me. It was very wild. I mean, Nick, I think he has his own things, but yeah, she was just very wild in how she reacted. And even throughout the relationship, just her constant having to say, I love you, and kind of almost searching for a response that felt passionate from Nick when he seems quite a stoic, even-keeled guy. She was never going to get that from him. I think in that moment when Nick ended it, I think she was seeing like flashbacks of Brennan and thinking to herself, I should have gone that route instead of Nick. I should have gone for Brennan because Brennan seems like he's a bit of a very intense, obsessive kind of guy. So I think he would be able to give her the energy she was actually looking for. But yeah, I think Nick handled the breakup well. I mean, how these I think it's easy to break up with somebody on Love Is Blind because it's like you don't really know them that well. Like at a certain point, it's just like, look, this is not gonna work. But yeah, I wish Annie the best. I think maybe some therapy might be best for her in the future because yeah, it was a very intense, very emotional reaction to that conversation. But yeah, that's all I got on that one.
Thank you very much, Presh. Jay? We'll move it on. Sean? Annie and Nick?
Yeah, that lady is touched by an angel, and I take it back. Everything I said about Madison, I multiply it ×2 for Annie because I guess I must have forgot how annoying she is. That lady, this lady got it bad. Like she missed all the signs. Homeboy is up in his garage talking about the size of his I guess that was a paddle boat, a canoe, whatever he got going on up there. Talking about some size queen, when half of the heterosexual men, we had to freaking Google what the hell that was. She missed the signs. And I think she was just straight into delusion, trying to make something happen that he didn't really want to have happen. And I guess whatever he was trying to do, because I don't really think he ever really liked her, because let's not forget the games that he was playing with Kate, talking about he loved both of them. Fast forward, then he, is head over heels in love with her. I think he was willing to fake it till he maked it. And then she just became too unbearable. She's just very unbearable. I've never seen a more unbearable person. Just the voice, the whining, the drinking, the slurring. And, I'm going to speak for, men like I did, ladies, and I know not the ladies on this channel, because we got, ladies that, know how to hold their own and handle their stuff. But a drunk woman, that gives most men the ick, unless they're trying to take advantage of you. A drunk, sloppy woman, slurring her words, come on, like that, it's not attractive to most guys. Sorry. So I'm not sure what Annie got going on, but I need her to get some healing, like real healing. She's like in a whole alternate universe. And this guy's breaking up with her, and he's like, I can't take it anymore. No, I mean, the way he the way he dealt with her, I do have to say, he handled her like it was like with precision. He just looked at her like, are you dumb or are you slow? Like, that's just the way he had to talk to her at the end, because she's like, no, but you're not trying. Like, you're not saying. He's like, I don't want to be with you. I tried. It's not working. And she's like, but wait, what? This is what this is about. It's like, ma'am, why are you bargaining with this man? Like, he does not want you, and you are cuckoo cuckoo. Yeah. Annie, I don't know what she could say at the reunion to try to redeem herself, other than she's got some extensive help and talked to the lady and sat with that lady on that couch to get some deep healing.
I just need her to brush her hair. I mean, can we start there? But Annie is not okay. She did not present as okay on this whole show, either in her cups or just confusing language, confusing talk, just spinning down the drain. It's like, I need you to be here with me. I need you to be, I need you to love me as much as I love you. I don't think you're in it. He said, as unfavorable as some people's opinion, Nick was very clear. Nick was clear. He's like, this can't happen again. And guess what? It happened again. So he's like, I'm gone. I can't do this. I can't be like this. I got to go. But he told her it cannot happen again. And she did it. So that's the one thing I would applaud Nick on, that he stood on business, and he was very respectful in the way he said on camera, whether they talked off camera and then on camera. He's very respectful when he told her, I can't do this. Yet she's still trying to get this man to tell her no down the aisle. Don't tell me no now, but don't tell me, you can't tell me yes now. He's been showing it. He's been pulling back. Come on now. And this is right after she turned her back on him at the mixer and refused to talk to him. So I really don't understand where Annie was thinking this was going to go. I think maybe she sobered up enough to realize that she's fumbling a bag, but it was done by then. He stated his boundaries. The seesaw of emotions was too much for him. And Nick said, I got to go. And he did her, I think the respectful way of saying, you know what? We ain't even doing suit shopping, none of that. We got to go. This is the very next morning. We got to go.
Appreciate it. Seaway, I don't know if you're there on Annie and Nick.
I'm here. I just feel like if you're gonna have a lavender marriage, you're not gonna cause me stress. Like, we need to have peace. We need to be on one page, one accord, and we need to have respect. And to me, if we can't be besties in this lavender marriage, I'm gonna have to find somebody else. Nick ain't down bad like that. He can find somebody else. He did not have to go out like that with Annie or crazy behind. So I don't know. Annie is nuts. She's probably the craziest person on this show. People keep talking about Edmund. It's really Annie. She's a fool. But she also probably was crashing out because she knew Nick didn't want her either. And so I think a lot of times when we know when a man don't want us, we start like spiraling. And I think she was also spiraling and couldn't really put her finger on what the issue was. But again, I do wish Nick the best in his journey to finding his lavender marriage love. And I think he needs to find somebody who is a little bit more peaceful and could be his bestie, because at the end of the day, that's what life is about. You need to find your best friend, find your person, whatever that looks like. Yep.
Dahlia.
Okay, so I missed it. What was the question for them?
Generally, just your thoughts on Annie and Nick and their situation. That was all.
So Nick was done with her when she was doing all that back and forth, crying, doing so much that he couldn't eat his chalupa. So that was his breaking point. It's like, now listen, I can put up with a lot, but what you not gonna do is keep me from eating my food. Okay? I gotta get rid of you immediately. I thought that was too funny. And I thought it was weird that, keep in mind, this episode happened right after the Western party when she snubbed him in front of everybody, and then there was just no resolution for that. I thought that's what that conversation was going to be about, and then it wasn't. And I was just like, oh, okay, so we're going to go back to the same conversation we had from Mexico about love? Really? That's what we're doing? Okay. All right. So I want to thank Nick for giving us a tutorial on how to deal with white woman tears, because that was surgical. That man, he was really good about that. It's like, okay, I understand now. I have to just like get right to the point, cut through the BS, and just like do like a nice little gut check all the way to the innards. Like I have to like really do that to get them to shut down. Got it. Okay. I will note that moving forward. And it is so interesting to me this season because it's just like, it's full of like for real white women. And they're doing what they normally do, which is cry. And it's like not working on these men, probably because they've been dealing with it their whole lives. So it's just like in one ear and right out the other. It's just that's so interesting to me because they can do that and it works on other races, but not on their own. I don't know. I find that fascinating. I did think it was interesting because you guys haven't mentioned it, that phone that she had where she was texting somebody, because I paused it to see what she was texting to them. And I think she was talking to a producer because she said in the text, like, oh, hey, I'm 90% sure the wedding is off. And whoever it was responded, like, oh, no, are you sure? And she was like, yeah, he's breaking up with me right now. Something to that effect. And I'm pretty sure that's a producer because otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to talk to friends and family about that sort of thing. And the fact that Kinetic left that in is interesting. Like, why would you leave that in? Why wouldn't you blur that out? I don't know. I thought that was interesting. And I feel like the reason why they did that is to protect themselves. And I wonder if Annie was causing a ruckus later on. And they know that people who watch the show will pause because we're nosy like that. We'll pause to read their text messages. And that's why they kept it in. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, just like Seaway, she has her problematic fave. I have mine. I'm sorry. I like Nick now. I do. I know he's a problem. He's a terrible person. I get it. I like him. I want to go to his cabin. I want him to teach me. I want him to teach me how to use the racing simulator. And he can teach me how to shoot a gun and we can go hiking in the mountains and spend up all his money because I know he has more. And we'll have a great time. And I'll put up with his terrible jokes. We'll have fun. I like him. I'm sorry. I see you, Elson. I know you're not feeling him.
I'm saying, how is he terrible? I just don't see how he's terrible.
Because he was terrible to Kate in the pods, and he is a liar. But child, I'm not dating him, so I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't. Okay. So yeah, I like this man. Good for him for getting out early and not embarrassing himself. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. That's all I got. Yeah, I'm good.
Nick and Annie, as we do with every season, somebody's gonna get some allegations thrown their way, and Nick is just the latest victim of that. And I hope that people can kind of reduce that level of subtle homophobia out of their vernacular and the things that they do. But we, it's Love is Blind, and these reality shows always bring that kind of action from the viewers. That being said, I don't think that outside of lying to his match, I don't think that there was much that Nick did wrong. He did seem very calculated, but I think that just his personality, maybe just how he's brought up. But overall, Annie was a mess. That the hair was like a wet mop was a mess. She just wasn't in the best. I mean, she's the villain that I think we think other people are, but it's neither here nor there. She was being coercive or manipulative with even her actions, but I'll just land the plane there.
Okay, cool. Let's move it on. Let's leave them alone. Okay, we ain't got time. All right, cool. So moving on to the next couple. I think this one's quite interesting, of course, because again, we've got Princess and Anton. But can I just say something? Why was he tearing up that sandwich the way he was tearing it up? Y'all see how he was tearing it up? His mother was in the room and he was like, like, bro, like, you ain't gonna wait. Like, you want another one? Yeah. I said, bro, is she not feeding you, bro? What's going on, bro?
She's not.
Like,
She's not.
Don't forget about Sparkle Megan too. And Jordan. Don't forget
you got
about
two couples.
Yeah.
There's one more. He was eating that food because anybody that drinks heavily knows you have to line your stomach first if you're gonna coat it with alcohol.
I mean, but do you have to coat it the way your head is down? And
absolutely, because you got to get that food into your system as quickly as possible so that the liquor stays.
I ain't never seen any of my people done tear up that kind of food like that. You know what I'm saying? His head was like, his mom was talking to him. His head was down. Like, that's how scary it was. But anyway, that's neither here or there. That's me being facetious and a bit more comedian about the situation. Anton and Ali, clearly this situation is interesting because she has obviously let us know that, she feels like he has a drinking problem. He drinks a lot. I mean, he is Russian. So, we have to give, if you all don't know about the Russians, this is not even me just being, they can drink. Like, they actually can really drink. It's something that goes, them and Zims, oh man, them and Zim people, they can drink, bro. So, that's something that is in their culture in a sense, right? So I can understand why Ali might have felt uncomfortable. It's a real thing. But I want to get your thoughts on their interactions and their particular aspect, because I feel like Anton's hiding some things. I feel like Ali at the same time too. I feel like she don't like that man. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? All right. When I say I don't think I like the man, not that she doesn't fancy him. I just think that she doesn't really like that man that much. But maybe I'm confusing the princess aspect. But I just never heard anybody like, when someone tries to let you know they don't really like you. Like when sometimes you don't want to break up them, so you start telling them all the nasty things that you do. Like, oh no, me, I poop. Oh no, me, I put boogers. You're trying everything to turn them off. And the person's like, I just accept you for who you are. I like you for who you are. And you're just getting more and more pissed off. That's how I feel like Ali is with Anton. You know what I mean? I think she liked him in the beginning. I think she saw some things that were like turning her off. And then she's like, rather than just saying, I don't want to be in a relationship, she's trying to turn him off. Like, hey, I ain't going to cook. You going to be okay with that? Yeah, don't worry about that. I ain't going to clean. You going to be okay with that? Yeah, okay. I ain't going to cook or clean. And I'm going to go to school. And it's like, okay. But obviously that was the last episode. This episode, they had a conversation with his mom and some other conversations as well. I must confess I didn't watch much of their scene, so y'all gonna have to help me fill it in. What's your thoughts on Anton and Ali in these episodes 10 and 11? How did you see them as well, Anton and Ali? I want to get your thoughts on them. Yes, Easton, go for it. Next. Mm-hmm.
The ick caught up very much like, you know, KB and Edmund. The ick happened a little bit later on with Anton. I think he's a lost, to me, he seems like he's like a lost boy who's kind of figuring his way out. Like he's figuring his purpose. He seems like he's on his path, and he had terrible baddie management. He really kind of waffled this one, and he was punching outside of his weight class. He was doing really well in the beginning, and if you have terrible baddie management, eventually you're gonna drop the ball somewhere on the field, and that's what he did. When I think it's not the drinking, it was probably like when the friend was talking to him, or I think a little bit beforehand. I don't think that she was relatively attracted to Anton, and I think that she was trying to find reasons to get out of that situation. So she started to like exasperate what the friend was saying. Because if we've been talking to each other, it would have been nothing for you to like talk to me behind closed doors and like get a little bit more clarity on this. But it seemed like that was another notch to X him out. Then it was the drinking. Then it was the money situation. I think that she realized that he's not going to be able to provide the life that she wants to. And eventually he's trying to overqualify himself for her by saying like, oh, well, you just got to love each other and we just got to be there for each other. And I'm like, brother, you done lost her. It's a wrap. And it was terrible baddie management.
Put it on the t-shirt, Easton. El Cid, yeah, go for it.
Okay. I understand what you said. He's Russian. He's going to drink. My problem was the fact that it was 2 beers like every time he came off work. And granted, when Trey and I talked about it, you know, it was okay if it's 5 p.m. would it be better for you, or is it because it's 5 a.m.? For me, it was morning time, but because my day works different, he was getting off shift. But it's like 2 beers. 2 beers is okay. That's chill. But it's every daggone day that I have a problem with. So, you know, he's supplying the beers. He's putting it in the fridge. You know, that's fine. But then he's, you know, my thing is he's not counting. And she's expecting him after the mixer, after they done, you know, hit up the bartender for a few drinks, she's expecting him to remember the inventory of every beer that was in the fridge and talk about it. I think Ali needs to come out and actually tells him what her fear is and what her concern is. Like, hey, you're drinking a little too much. I am concerned. You know, could you dial it back? Not, don't you think that's too much? Don't you think that's a little issue? Don't you? No. Because if he thought it was an issue, he wouldn't be doing it. So just tell him straightforward that, hey, there's an issue I'd like to talk about. Hey, and then he gets defensive. And then he starts talking about the stuff that you had all over the floor. He talks about you don't clean up after yourself. And now you're panicked because you thought Patrick came in and saw the mess you made. So I don't think these two should really get married. I don't think they should be together at all. Ali quickly hushed her mother up when the mother said, you know, wash a dish. Okay. She quickly, mom, you're talking too much. Chastise him for his drinking. Don't talk to me about washing a dish. Okay. But I liked Anton's friend. That was a highlight for me because Anton and Ali, we don't know them. We saw 2 specks in the pods. We're engaged, and he was sipping on drink and didn't even turn back to look at her at the reveal. We don't know them at all. So his friend was my highlight. Okay. His friend, because his friend was like, hey, go in there as yourself, be confident. You go in there. If you want to be a yes, then say yes. If she's the woman for you, she will say yes back. And if she's not, that's okay because you came as your authentic self. I thought he was a good hype me up person. He was good at speaking life into his friend right there with his mom. That was the highlight for me. Other than that, I don't think these two should be a yes to each other. But that's just my thoughts on Allie and Anton. But when she starts counting the beers, when she starts counting all the stuff, and actually, you know, you're the one buying the stuff and refilling the fridge, you know, start backpedaling. Do I need to say the end?
No. Go for Dahlia. I thought it was going in order, and my bad. Yes, Dahlia.
Yeah, Elsa, I thought when you were talking about the friend, I thought you were talking about the hobo friend at first because I was not feeling him. But I forgot about the one in the at the dress shop or the suit shop. You're right. Man, he had me hype. I was just like, he was like really just like infusing him with energy. Even the mom was like, yeah. She was getting a second win from it too. It's like he needs to be there for every suit shopping event because he's got a real gift for that. Like it's like, bro, were you a preacher in a former life or something? But yeah, I okay. I come from a dry household. I don't know nothing about alcoholism or anything like that. My family like social drinkers, so or at least my immediate family is, let me say that. So I don't really know the signs for this sort of thing. I know other people are speculating that maybe he has a problem. If he does, he's functional as far as I can tell, because I really if Alini didn't say anything, I would have no clue that he was drinking like that. He can hold his liquor for sure. That must be the Russian in him, because I can't tell. I personally don't see it as an issue, even if he was doing 2 beers a day, whatever. What I do have a problem with though is the lying. He's a filthy liar. He be lying all the time. He's been lying since day one of the pods. He's been lying this whole entire time. Because I tracked that conversation when she asked him, "Hey, how many drinks have you had?" I was like, "Oh, well, I had 4 with Patrick. Oh, we only had like 1 apiece. So it was like 2. Yeah, we had a few." It's like, wait a minute. Is it 4? Is it 2? Is it a few? Which isn't? He kept changing his story as he was talking, and I like what she did. Like she just let him keep talking and hang himself. She would just ask him questions and just let him talk. Madison needed to take notes. That's how you have a conversation. Let the man talk so he can hang himself. And then just let him say his piece. But he lies a lot. And I feel like he knows he got a baddie and he wants to keep her. But in order for him to do that, he basically has to disown his entire self. His friend's girlfriend, she really caught him out there. And see, that's that baddie man you was talking about. Now, if you was really good at your job, you would have had a conversation with your friend and his girlfriend ahead of time. So make sure we all on the same page here. Okay. She the one that really put him out there on Front Street to put him on blast. And so now your girl knows that you're a liar. Your girl knows that you a partier. Your girl knows that you like them strip clubs. Your girl knows that you're not really about that life. His mother saved him though. His mother did a really good job for him because she affirmed him. She told Allie, yeah, he used to be like that, but he's really turned his life around. He's really locked in. Once he decides on something, he's gonna be really he's all in. She saved him because I could see Allie being like, okay, that makes me feel better. I could see that in her eyes. And I actually thought right before that whole sandwich scene, he complimented his mother, which I thought was very sweet. He thanked her for being such a good parent to him. That was very sweet. I really like that. And then they completely undercut that entire scene by just showing him going to town on that sandwich. Just like, God dang, y'all can't let this man live. Make him look halfway decent. Just and then I've never seen another parent do this, but Allie's mom was also very good. She did something I don't normally see, which is basically hold them both accountable. And she wasn't trying to sell her daughter. She wasn't, because sometimes they'll do that. They'll sell you like, oh, he's so great, or she's so great. And that didn't happen here. And she was just like, okay, well, you need to do this, sir. Ma'am, you need to do this. Both y'all need to be held to account here. Both of you guys need to be pulling your weight. I like that. And I feel like if they were to get married, I feel like she'd be the kind of mom who would basically not going to just let you get away with whatever. And I don't think that she would automatically side with her daughter either. She felt like her daughter was the one who was really, making terrible moves. I think Ali would be the one to say no at the altar. I don't think she will. I think she'll actually say yes. But if that were to happen, she would be the one to say no, not Anton, because Anton's not letting her go. Anton will live a lie. He will live a whole lie to keep this woman. He's not going to let her go. And I actually don't think she would make a good wife. She seems incredibly selfish to me. I think she's very selfish. I think that she's about herself, and she knows that. She knows she has the power here. I don't even think she's engaging in dark artistry because she's being so honest about it. Bad management. Like you already have them. You don't have to be such an a-hole about it. You really don't. Just go buy the ugly sweaters. Just clean the kitchen one day a week. And he'll do whatever it is that you want him to do. His nose is already wide open. This is the pretty girl thing. This is pretty privilege right here. Is I've seen pretty women do this. Is they're so mean, and they know they can be mean because the men will just take it. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so yeah, they're gonna go all the way. They're gonna say yes to each other, and then in about a year we'll see that they divorce because Ali will be the one to divorce him. Yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna land my plane right there. I have nothing else to say on them. So yeah.
Thank you, Dahlia. Seaway, your thoughts on our people then, Anton and Ali? Okay, we'll come back to you. Sean, thoughts on Anton and Ali?
I don't know. It seems like either editing has clipped something, but there's like so many unresolved things that kind of like pop up that are concerning. Like old boy's girlfriend that pulled her in the bathroom to have this conversation. Then she gonna get to the dinner table and talking about we gotta talk. And then we never see like a real fully fleshed out version of what that talk looked like. Then she had a very serious, which I thought was like a wow moment when she started talking to him about his use of alcohol. And then the clincher was when she said, well, where's the bottle of tequila? And he's like, I don't know. It's gone. Like we don't call people, we don't put the label, but we can also identify that there is a problem, right? You might be on a night shift, but if your breakfast of champions is 2 beers and maybe chasing it with a vodka, that's cause for some level of concern, right? We're not going to say you're an alcoholic and call you all the names, but it's something to think about. It's really not healthy. If you look it up, what's healthy is not for somebody that drinks every day. And he's made it a point that he drinks something every day, whether it's a beer or something, he drinks every day. It's become normalized, in our society, but it's not really healthy for your body to be drinking every day. And it's also highly addictive. People don't talk about it a lot, but alcohol is one of the leading causes of health-related issues as substances that are addictive. We don't talk about it, right? We talk about cigarettes and all these other things, which are also causing problems, but alcohol causes problems too. And I think people just normalize it because it's legal, normalize it because, there's a certain allure that comes along with it. But if you got to drink every day, if just because you work a night shift, you can't go without having a couple of drinks when you get home to kick back and relax, you're having issues regulating. And you're using the alcohol to help you regulate. And anything you're using as a dependent, hey, your mama, you drinking right now. You said it, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? You said it, I didn't. I mean, look, you drink it right now. Did you drink yesterday? You drink the day before that? Did you drink the day before that? Is it a trend? If it's a trend, trends are trends for reasons. They show patterns and they lead us down a path. And most people do drink it. If most people are drinking after work, then most people got a drinking problem. I'm just saying, just because most people are doing it, if most people are jumping off bridges, most people got issues with unaliving themselves. Just because most people are doing it doesn't mean that it is not a problem. I just don't want us to norm, because that's how we normalize things that shouldn't be normalized. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want us to, just let's talk this out. Hey,
he was stressed.
Anton been doing that. That is a behavior that didn't just pop up. I don't know what you think is the driver of his stress, and I'm not interested in it. I don't want to hear it. But this is a behavior that he has been doing. It's not situational because something triggered it. It's because he got a problem of some sort.
Thank you very much, Sean. Jay. Sean didn't lay out a pattern for us and lets people know, some of you are alcoholics.
I didn't say alcoholics.
He basically did.
What? Do I have a target on me today? Like, just insert.
He said your liver is fighting for its life.
Here. Like, what's going on?
It's a sweatshirt.
You're going to get a couple of shots.
Well, Sean wasn't trying to say that people are alcoholics. I think he was trying to say that sometimes people develop an alcohol dependency without realizing that they're alcohol dependent. And I think that's what Anton is. I don't think he's an alcoholic, but I think he's alcohol dependent, in which he's having more physical cravings for alcohol. So maybe because his tolerance for alcohol is much higher, you can sometimes experience some of the withdrawal symptoms of not drinking. So you could get quite anxious. So coming off from a night shift and feeling quite tired and anxious, to cope with that, I think he's just developed that habit of drinking, and it's sort of escalated over time. So I think that's, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but I think that's what he was trying to say.
Do y'all think that was the demise of the relationship, was him just drinking?
No, but I think as people mentioned, I think it's also the lying, and it's the blatant gaslighting of it, of like, you're looking at her in the face and she's asking you what's happened to the alcohol, and you're like, oh, maybe you drank it. What? Oh, maybe you, like, what are we doing here? So I think there's an element of her feeling very unsafe with Anton, because he's not willing to be open and honest about how much he's struggling, or be accountable for things that might not be, right there. Like, if he didn't see his drinking as an issue, he would have said, oh, I drank it. Oh, it's fine. Like, I don't, but his lying indicates that this is something that's come up probably before. And there's a level of, I don't want to say shame, but there's a level of concern that he may have, or thinking that there's there is something going on that he doesn't want to admit to. And I think that leaves Ali feeling very unsafe. Because when they both came out from the pods, and it seemed like they liked each other, it seemed like there was something that could be built there. But I don't think Anton is willing to meet her where she wants him to meet her, with the level of high maintenance that she seems to be. I think she kind of wants to just be a kind of looked after trophy wife, and I don't think that's what Anton is trying to achieve. So I think she's feeling very much like, oh, I'm not going to get the marriage I want out of this, and I think that's had her now sort of checking out a little bit.
You want to say something, Jay, or?
I was just letting everybody finish. Easton gonna ask 1,000 side questions. So, but miss you, Easton.
Sorry for clarity. Jesus.
Don't bring Jesus in this, in your foolishness. Miss you though, Easton. I do.
Not really. Is it a problem for me that I drank, or is it a problem for you that I drank? That's the real question. Because if he ain't harming nobody, he ain't disrespecting nobody, he ain't abusing nobody, verbally, physically, whatever, ain't harming himself, maybe that wallet is probably the only thing that's in harm, because that alcohol bill might be a little high. Is it a problem for you, the drinker? Is it the problem for the person that you with? I'm just saying, like, if a person can control their alcohol, is it a problem? I'm not, and this is coming from somebody that got an alcoholic biological and stuff like that, but also I got abusive one. So there's the problem right there. When we start using it in a way to have it as liquid courage, or we get belligerent and we don't have respect for self or anybody else in the room and all this stuff like that. There's a lot of people that do a lot of different traits that we wouldn't call a problem on a regular basis for us, because we would probably be okay with those traits. But when we're not okay with somebody's traits, it's a problem. It's a problem for her because she's not okay with it. Another person will be like, okay, I understand you getting off of work, you just trying to relax, whatever you got to do. You work night shift, it's hard to sleep during the daytime. I don't sleep with a mask on, the light be bothering me and all this stuff like that. Y'all got to give me some blackout curtains for me to go to sleep. I'll be up with the light. Now, what it might be a problem on is on his liver and all that stuff like that. We can get to the health problems of it all. Yeah, eventually. But that's not her concern. Never once did she sit there and bring up a health issue about, I want you around all these years. She's looking for any reason to discontinue that man. That's what that is. And she's been looking for reason for a while. Once she realized his pockets is not going to open up to anything but a bottle. Because she sat there and said how she want to be a kept woman, don't want to cook, don't want to clean, but tell you how she got that ring. She want him to pay. She want him to pay the school bills and all this stuff like that. Ignored the mama when the mama said you need to pick up a broom up in this house and do something. But that's not a problem, because I find that a problem. I find that you won't even wash your own clothes. You ain't got to wash mine, but you won't wash your own clothes. You want me to clean up after you? What, you at home studying or whatever it is that you doing? But like he said, I'll take you for as you is. You know, you don't want to clean? Cool. You don't want to cook? All right. Well, guess what? I'm going to order me a meal and a drink too. Now, the problem is if she buying that alcohol and he drinking it all up, now that'd be a problem, because that'd be a problem for me. I done bought some bottles and I expect to get my bottles when I get home and I ain't got my bottles. Oh, yeah, it might be a problem. But if he buying the alcohol, let him do what he do. He want to relieve his way. He want to relieve his way. Let him do what he do. Y'all not even financially had these conversations on how this money budgeting and stuff is going out and all this stuff like that, that you want him to take care of all the bills. You don't want him to drink so he can have more money for you to do whatever you want. Go get your hair and nails done. So why are we sitting here looking at him as the only problem, or his situation is a big old problem? She's a whole problem herself. If y'all want clarity on somebody that don't like that man, and it's not because of his physical attributes, but because his pocketbook won't open up the way she wanted to, and she ain't willing to just settle, now that's a person that'll settle on some looks for that pocketbook. So her first conversation out the gate was like talking about some money. Let's get this started. Like, what? Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and say he got a full out problem until the rest of the cast starts saying, oh, he was running through the streets butt naked because he was so daggone drunk, or he done did some other stuff that was abusive to the rest of the cast. Okay. Hey, at this point, Joe looked like he had more of a problem to me, because hell, he couldn't even hold his eyes straight. Him or Jordan. So I don't know. If that's what we're talking about, that he got a problem, I'm not going to confirm or deny that. His liver can. But them two together don't need to be together.
Cody off this thing. It's time to get active.
His time is up.
His time is up.
Don't get too carried away. I will.
Sean, don't cut you off.
Oh dang, Sean. Oh man,
shut this whole thing off.
I'll shut this whole thing right there.
Dang.
Don't stress me out, please. Don't get excited. You actually probably have a little bit more leeway when Kojo is here.
Yeah, I was gonna
Wait,
say.
Kojo gone?
Kojo gone.
Is Kojo gone?
He probably just messing with us and like
he probably got overstimulated. You know, he
let me ask it deeper out because I like how y'all saying every single morning he works night shift. So it's the same thing as a person have a drink every day after they get off of work during the day.
Yeah, he works third shift.
I know, but they like to put the morning like it's a thing about
coffee. Like it's an issue. It's a substance that is
coffee every day is an issue. It's a thing when you act like you can't function without it. I know people that can't function without it.
Well, that's
also
me.
true.
Hello.
Also true. Also
but y'all
true.
don't say that nothing. Y'all don't shame that person for that or nothing like that.
We let the alcohol blind this entire situation. She didn't like that man when it came to the ring.
He said, "I come back for 5 seconds. You already talk about who don't like who." She probably didn't like that he's an alcoholic.
No, it was the ring conversation. It was the the $5,000 ring and $10,000 ring. That was the thing that got the
pocketbook conversation. That's what it was.
And that's what got the things going.
Okay, I'll let y'all have that then.
That's okay.
No, she would have ignored it. She would have ignored it drinking if he had sat there and been like, "Let me spread some money on you."
You saying
I don't know why we have to do that. Like things don't happen in silos. You know, it's not everything is not if P then Q. It's like, yes, she has an issue because she wants to sit at home and be taken care of and go back to grad school. That's an issue. His drinking is also an issue. I don't think those two things, there's no intersectionality with them. Like it's contingent upon the other. It is a problem. If you work a night shift and you cannot wait till whenever you're not working a night shift to engage in an alcoholic beverage, yeah, that is a.
Now you add it because he ain't never said he can't wait to get off of work to have an alcoholic beverage. Now, if he drinking on the job, that's a whole different thing.
I'm not saying that.
I just think that you don't have to. Drunk driving is an issue. You don't have to have an accident in order for drunk driving to be an issue. So
at home.
But the issue is that you're impaired.
You're missing the point. The point is I made a parallel between something that is harmful that doesn't always end in a catastrophe. Drinking excessively daily is harmful. It doesn't always end in a catastrophe. Everybody that drinks doesn't become violent. Everybody that drinks doesn't get in their car and drive and have a car accident. It still doesn't mean that drinking every day is not a problem.
Jay, you weren't concerned with that tequila bottle went missing? I wasn't tripping when that tequila bottle went missing. When that tequila bottle was missing, that was bad.
She knew it was missing. The problem is that she started to nitpick slowly because she's trying to find her way out of the relationship. So she's gravitating towards the drinking thing. She already knew that bottle was missing. So why did she say, "Hey, you drink the"?
I don't think it was just the tequila bottle. It was the strip clubs. It was the partying. It was that friend and that girlfriend of 3 months snitching on everything that he was doing.
If Joe can have a boundary and he stopped going to the strip clubs 8 months ago and he's a reformed person now and he hasn't shown any of these behaviors because he hasn't up to this point. She's only going off of recommendations or what the friend has said. We can't judge him off of that. No, he hasn't.
Yeah, we can. No, we can because he lied in the pod. He said my friend is a crazy one. Yeah, he was like, my friend's a crazy one. It's not me. And then the friend came up and said, no, he's crazier.
No, the girlfriend did. I can see that girl.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
His mama did
too. I'm saying. Yeah, like
I can't confirm or
Yes,
deny
she
that's a
did.
lie too, because I'm gonna say my friend crazier than me, and I might
Yeah,
be the
I was
psycho.
trying not to judge him on the strip club. I thought she was tripping. I even thought she was tripping about the alcohol. But when that tequila bottle went missing, I said, you know what, Houston, we may have a problem. She's really getting at something that we clearly are not seeing. And then she want to be put up, and she don't want to cook and clean. Shout out to her. We love a woman with boundaries. I love that for her. But when he said that they had to get a joint account and she couldn't hide her Botox, she was also done then. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on. It was a lot of stuff going on.
I feel like the drinking was just the end result of all of that stuff. I think that she was like, okay, let me grasp at straws. The drinking, he's not doing anything that's negative. Again, it's not saying that drinking isn't bad. I get that. But I'm saying that I felt like she was grasping at straws to figure out how to exit out of the relationship.
The drinking was the only tangible thing, Easton. You're right. The drinking was the only tangible thing that she has hardcore proof on. She don't have no
So
proof
she has
on
to
the
hammer in on that.
She don't have no proof on him being wilder than a friend because she ain't really hung out with that. She's going off of speculation from somebody else or whatever.
Jay,
And we don't know the motive of that other girl either.
Bad
Jay, why is he hiding the beers and making up lies? Here's my thing.
I said that's the only tangible thing she has to go off
and
of.
so she's going in.
But that's a big thing. But that's a big thing, guys.
That's a big
I think
thing.
we're
'Cause why
trying.
are you lying about
For
that?
some people, that's what I'm saying.
For
And it's
her, but for
yes,
her,
for
yeah.
her.
If I know I want to be in a relationship with the baddie, with you, Allie is the baddie. If that in that power dynamic, he's pedestalized her. I'm trying to do whatever is in my power to keep you and not shake up this relationship. I know that the drinking is a problem to you because you've made it an issue now. So everything I'm gonna do is try to alleviate that, even if it's to my detriment. So I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna say, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, this, that, and the third. And that's what he was doing. I'm not saying that is right. I'm saying that he wanted to make things go so well with Allie. I feel like he even talked to his mom to advocate for him on his behalf because he wanted Allie to see him as this new, changed, reformed person. Because I think he really did do some work.
So why do you think Allie don't like him?
The money thing. It was the ring.
Okay, Easton, really think about this. She knew what he did in the pods. It doesn't make sense for her to expect him to give her a $10,000 ring based off of his job as a driving trainer. They're not
I don't
making
know about
bank
you,
like
but all
that,
my
and
truck
even if
driver
they
friends
were,
make
what
six
makes you think
figures
they're gonna spend
and they be
10K on
tricks.
that?
Wait, he's a truck driver?
Yeah, he make good money. He's a truck driver instructor.
I thought he did something else.
No, he's a
He
truck
also
driver
does real
instructor.
estate
All
on the
them
side.
dudes is tricks.
A truck driver instructor and a truck driver.
Trey,
two
he
different
calling
things,
you
right?
a trick. Trey in the comments, he calling you a trick.
Okay, there's outliers, but y'all know what I'm saying.
You
Either
ain't getting
way,
no money out of Trey unless he want to give it to you.
all I'm saying was
Ain't
it
getting no
was the
money out of
money.
Amazon.
Okay, he's a
Like,
CDL instructor.
That's the problem.
Even her going back to school, but being a stay-at-home mom. Why am I gonna pay for you to go to school to be a stay-at-home mom, and then you're not gonna cook or clean? It was just all a bunch of word salad.
And
It
he still wanted her, which proves my point. Can I make this point and then I'm gonna let y'all have it? When I keep telling women, have as much boundaries as you can, be as ridiculous with your boundaries as you can, the men will love you even more. Did you hear what you just said? She said she don't want to cook, she don't want to clean, she wants you to pay for her schooling, she wants you to do all these things, and he was still signing up like, sign me up. This be my point. Now, she is very pretty. You do have to have the looks to match, but I'm just saying.
The looks to match.
The looks do gotta match. The looks
gotta match. You gotta look compatible with your expectations.
That's true, Easton.
If a person say sign me up without putting down a down payment,
you're telling us to move on.
You're a fool. That's fine. But if a person don't sit here with Seaway's thing, talk about if a person sign me up without putting down the down payment on your prescription, child, please, okay, he's gonna sign you up for a trapment. He gonna have you right in that house, not paying for your bills, not doing nothing because you're not doing anything he wants either. So therefore, y'all gonna just be sitting in that house miserable together.
That's the issue.
And also,
it's not about the money, right? Because like Seaway just said, he agreed to all of that stuff. She even told his mom, they had already talked about it in the pods. He liked the fact that she was a traditional woman, and she's been actually pretty consistent about that. The issue, as far as what she's saying, now if she's following through on that, that's another story. The issue, though, is that
you said not traditional or traditional.
She's just a kept woman.
Traditional in the sense that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. Sorry, let me clarify. Let me say that. Now, having said that, though, the issue is that she also wants to have control, and it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. His mom already told you he was raised as a good traditional Russian boy, and laid it out how they raised him and what was the expectations. And so now she wants to have her cake and eat it too. She's just like KB. Like all these women, and Megan is the same way. All these women stay lying. It's like you can't sit up here and tell somebody that you want to be a trad wife, you want to be a stay-at-home mom, and then also say you don't want to cook. You don't want to clean, and you also want to have all the control. I'm sorry, you can't have all of it. No, something's got to give here. It doesn't work that way. Like, just be honest about what you want. All these people be lying. That's
First of all, as a person who's working with Russians and all this stuff like that, I know how they drink. They don't drink their water. They don't drink their water. They drink.
I forgot
alcohol is they drink choice of substance and whatever stuff like that they drink. Just like I know I'm a bartender, I work up in the thing. I see a lot of demographics that sit there and take it back to back.
So you saying ain't nothing wrong with it, Jay?
Some cultures just do what they do, baby. Some cultures just do what they do. Am I saying there's nothing wrong with it? I'm not saying that, because the day comes that some people just can't stop drinking. I know somebody who died from that too. Because the day they decided to stop, their body had depended on it so much.
But he's lying to her though. And like
that's a problem. That's a problem.
He's turning around her and gaslighting. Like stand 10 toes down. I was like, yeah, I'm Russian. We drink around here. You don't like
that's
that?
it. That's the problem with his confidence though. He puts her on a pedestal, so she's willing to acquiesce to whatever she's saying and whatever she likes. That's his problem. That's what I'm holding Anton's feet to the fire. But let's not. But Allie, she knew them bottles was gone. She over here asking him questions she already knew the answers to. She was being passive because
Easton, that part, I understand your argument, but that part don't mean nothing to the fact the bottle was gone, though. I'm still on the bottle gone.
Just
whether she know it or not.
Easton is speaking from experience. That's what he be doing.
This conversation's gone. So we got to move on to the next couple. We move on to the next couple.
Y'all are agitated, Kojo. Even he said,
No. I actually like the conversation, but it's time is
who's left?
Huh?
Who's left?
Megan.
Meg.
They said Megan pregnant by another dude.
I saw that.
It's just a picture with her and some other dude, and
the dude had a kid already, so I don't know who that dude was.
They acting like that's her new baby daddy.
No, but there is some.
It could be her bodyguard. It could be her bodyguard.
I don't know. I'm just not trying to. I don't know. That's what they put all over the internet.
On production. So
I got connected.
And mind you, I didn't go looking for this. This was on Instagram. I see Megan with some baby and a baby daddy. I'm like, what is this?
It's probably who she dating with, but somebody is gonna be pregnant on the reunion, so that's that. But
what?
Everybody
needs to get fired.
Okay, well, listen.
They need to cut the interviews. Why are we seeing babies and baby daddies? I didn't go look for these spoilers, mind you. They keep doing these interviews. Honestly, either speed it up or do something, because I don't know.
It's ruining my whole experience.
Ruining the show.
I don't like getting spoiled.
Well, we'll find out in a few short hours for those that can stay up and watch it.
Oh, it comes on tonight?
Not the reunion. They already picked the reunion.
Because I was almost certain, and it still could be true, but I thought Megan and Luca Daddy would have said yes. So I don't know. We still don't know.
He's reduced to Luca.
I'm not gonna spoil nothing.
Don't spoil it, because I don't know, but I thought they would say yeah.
Well, let's discuss Megan and Jordan on episode 10 and 11. What are your thoughts on these two? Because they had a bit of a disagreement in terms of lifestyle, and I think there was multiple schools of thought around this couple. It's interesting. Some people don't want to call Jordan a single father because they feel like he's part-time. Some people felt like with Megan, she can be a little bit pushy, but they felt like her needs are her needs and they need to be met. Some people also agreed with Jordan that he can be tired. Being a single father, it ain't easy. It's stressful on the mind, the body, and it's taxing in that space. But I want to get you guys and ladies' thoughts on this. How are we seeing Megan and Jordan? Are we siding with one person, or are we seeing both sides? Is it a two-prong attack? How are we looking at Megan and Jordan? I want to know your thoughts on this particular couple. It was the last one of the night, so
can I go first?
Brief, because people got to go to work in the morning. Okay, all right. I don't, but I'm going to go to pull work out here. Okay, and I want to save them. Okay, they owe me coins, and I want them to be alive. Okay. Negro, did I say you?
What are you whispering about?
Okay.
That's like one note. That's like one note short.
What Kojo talking about?
That's like one note short. What's your thoughts on Megan and Jordan?
Can I go first?
You can indeed.
Thank you, kindly, sir. Okay. I like this argument. I feel like this is the most normal argument a couple could have, because you're talking about lifestyles right now, right? Like, how are you going to mesh it, especially if you have one person who's free as a bird and then the other person is a single parent, and they just have different energies, right? Like they live their life differently. To me, that's normal. I actually thought, because I don't really be liking Megan like that, but to me, she was the most normal right here. Like, what she's asking for is actually not a lot. I thought it was reasonable, because if you listen to what she's saying, she's like, I actually like you. I want to spend time with you. I want to hear about your day. I want to hear what's going on in that big brain of yours. We talk so much in the pods. I want to keep that going in real life. I want to be cuddled up next to you, bruh. And she's not the first woman I've heard say that. That's actually a pretty common complaint that women have, especially when their man is either not a talker, or if he works a lot. That's normal. Jordan's response, also normal. It's like, I don't like this job. I don't like these people. I've been yapping all day long. I don't want to yap more. And I don't know what other, if I spoke about this to anybody else, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I worked retail for 6 years, where I was on all day long. And by the time it was all said and done, I hated people. Like, literally hated people. I wanted you to get the opposite of whatever your experience was. I don't want you to have it. I wanted to take as long as possible. I couldn't stand people. So I understand him. It's like, you don't want to be dealing with people no more. You don't want to talk. You don't want to talk about that terrible work experience that you just came from. So I understand him. I think the issue is he don't like that lady. He don't like that lady. And I said this to you guys, last panel, is if he doesn't go out of his way for her. He doesn't talk about how wonderful she is and how beautiful she is, and he's so happy to be with her. You never see them on dates other than whatever it is that Netflix sets up for them. Like, they don't do anything together. So I understand her complaints here is because he's not doing any of that stuff. And by the way, because KB mentioned this in that argument on the mountain, is that he's not chivalrous. None of these men are. None of the men this season are chivalrous. They're not. And I think that's actually a sign that the man is not that into you, when he's not, other than Anton, kind of, when they're not catering to you like that, they're not making any effort to you to be courtly. It's just like they're not feeling you like that, girl. They don't think too much of you. That's been my experience.
Yeah, because this new generation ain't chivalrous at all. Okay. Our generation made what this.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
And I'm not even up here with me.
Yeah, but they're our generation though. They're these guys. Oh, actually, well,
they're younger.
They're like young millennials.
They're young. They're definitely younger than me. So like, yeah.
They're young millennials, but it's like you're not helping them. You're not helping the women.
Okay, she want to show off her onesie all in an inappropriate time.
My bad.
But no, they're not chivalrous, and I don't think Jordan is really feeling Megan like that. And I know that because if he really wanted to go out of his way, he would. Keep in mind, Anton, who works night shifts along with what's her name, Allie, stayed up for like a solid 24 hours because they had to do filming. And it's just like, you could have told Netflix to kick rocks. They can't make you go somewhere you don't want to go or do something you don't want to do, right? But when you are committed to something and when you care about something, you figure out a way to do it. If Jordan really wanted to, he could actually figure out a way to have experiences with her. Megan is not sitting up here saying that they have to go spend all this money to go have a good time. She's not even asking for that. She's literally just asking him to share about his day. That is, the bar is in hell. That is such a low level thing to ask for. Bro, I just want to get to know you better because I actually like you. That's not too much to ask for. I do think that he's right to push back and say, okay, well, I'm tired, and it's our lifestyles are different. But it's like, Jordan, you knew that in the pods. You knew the lifestyles were different in the pod, and you proposed to her. Okay, so you're gonna have to also make some concessions. You can't be so stiff-necked that you're not willing to go out of your way for her. If she's about to change up her whole life to be a stepmom to your kid, who's also sick, by the way, literally the least you can do is go on a freaking date with her one night a week and tell her about your day. This doesn't have to be like a whole thing, but it's turning into a thing because he don't like her. That's really all it comes down to. So,
love that.
Yeah.
Precious.
Well, I think one, I do question whether or not Jordan does like Megan, but then I question whether or not he would do those things even if he did like Megan. Jordan seems very, very, very laid back and very aloof and detached. And I think with Megan, I think she allowed her fear of repeating cycles to stop her from picking the person she actually should have picked, which was Mike. Because I just don't see it. I don't see how this thing with Jordan came about. I think maybe she picked Jordan because it felt safer, because he was very sort of open about liking her and wanting to be with her. And I think then outside of the pod, because of the difference in money making and all of these other things, I think she kind of felt more like, okay, this is a safer bet for me. But I agree. I don't think Jordan likes her very much. But I also don't think Jordan is somebody who is very showy and very kind of super affectionate anyway. He seems quite stoic. He seems quite laid back. He seems very, very, very sort of chilled. And I don't think he would have been that kind of person to do these like big little things for somebody anyway. He doesn't seem like he's really that bothered about getting married, really and truly. So I don't know. I think Megan and Jordan, they're a bit confusing to me, honestly. I don't really understand their relationship. I don't understand what the pull was or what brought them really together. Even after, I think she has made a whole relationship based on the fact that his son has type 1 diabetes. I think that's what she's done. She has based this entire relationship on that, because outside of that, I really don't see what the connection is. I don't see what they had in common. It doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I think she's running. I think she's still in grief, because I think her dad only died like a year before this, or 2 years before. I think she's still in grief, and I think she's working out of that and taking up this message of, oh, we're meant to be because of this connection. And I think that's freaked Jordan out a little bit. I think he's a little bit freaked out because she mentions it a lot. She cries a lot. She's always crying, that girl. Every time. A little tiny thing, tears, like always crying. So I think Jordan's I think he's got the ick with her a little bit. I understand him not wanting to talk, because I get it. I have a job where all you're doing is talking. So, and especially for me, there's heavy stuff that comes up in my job. So I can imagine if I go home, the last thing I really want to do is sit there and have a conversation about all the heavy stuff I'm doing. But I think there's usually a middle ground, and Jordan's just refusing to try to find the middle ground. And I think that's what is indicating that there's a disconnect. And I just don't think he's that into her.
Thank you, Precious. Yes, Jay.
Was he into her in the beginning when he walked out? You don't think he was into her from the beginning when he walked out?
I didn't really get it. Like, and I don't know if it's because of how he is. He just doesn't ever seem excited about anything. Like, he's very dry. He's very just like mono. He just doesn't seem excited about anything. I didn't get this big vibe from him that he was like super taken away from her, but I also didn't get a vibe that he disliked her. But I think as we've seen the show going on, I just don't think he's into her. So I don't know. That's why I feel like that's just his normal affect.
Sometimes when people are on the brinks of losing somebody they love, they go numb to a whole bunch of other things in their life. When you're living with a child that you could potentially lose at any time, you might numb yourself to a whole bunch of attachments and other things in life. So, I mean, there could be a reason why he keeps the same demeanor across the board and stuff like that. I won't say initially he did not like her. I do feel like he has grown not to like her and maybe some of her ways, because they live two completely different lifestyles and have yet to try to understand the others on both ends. She tries by saying, what is your work like? But sweetheart, you're working from home. You are always at work. So your demeanor is always on like it's at work. You don't have to decompress from anything because not going anywhere to decompress from. So when I'm coming home to a person who's been home all day, yes, sometimes I don't want to really talk to you right then and there. I do need to decompress. I do need a moment. But I can also tell that person, especially if we've been communicating so well about everything else, give me 30 to an hour, whatever it is that I need when I first come home. We'll talk about it. If I don't want to talk about the work day, I can just say, hey, work day stressed me out today. I don't want to talk about that, but we can talk about something else. Can we just sit here and just watch this movie right now? Can we do anything? So I am with the fact what Dahlia says, a part of her acts is not too much, but there's no compromise on both ends. She wants you to talk to her immediately as soon as you come through the door, and he don't want to talk, period. Then on the other end, it's we're looking for a house together, which I don't even know why y'all looking for a house right now. But whatever, neither here nor there. But we're supposed to be doing this together, because where do I get my say as Jordan in this? Though, yes, you might be carrying most of the financial responsibilities. Where is my say? Her going off to do a whole bunch of things. She keeps giving a bunch of masculine energy that she doesn't realize she's giving off by just going and taking the rings on everything. So I can see where Jordan is like, how do I fit in as being a man in here? Because one, you're beating me financially. Two, I can't make decisions on anything that's moving forward because you're just taking it upon yourself to go and do without me. And if I say, I don't think this is something that I want, you're just going to veto that. So how do I be a man of the house? So I can see where he starts to not like her, not like necessarily physically or whatever and stuff like that, but he doesn't like this relationship dynamic that they have. And I don't know what Jordan wants, because she presents like she wants to be taken care of a little bit or whatnot. She wants to be loved and all this stuff like that. But all she talk about is her money and how she could slang it around here and there. So I'm like, there's nothing that's really feminine about her or submissive about her in any way that he can find some type of resolve in. I mean, she do cook. And she made a hard compromise by drinking that chicken smoothie. Child, I would never. I would freaking never. Jesus. Sorry. I almost threw up a little bit in my mouth. But that's disgusting to me. I don't know what in the white Caucasian is this.
Jay, you cool?
No, because I'm really disgusted by that puree food.
Stressed. So that,
I asked Dahlia to stop talking about that, and she kept talking about it. I was like, it's disgusting. I felt like I was about to throw up.
It was really disgusting, and you could imagine the smell.
You know, his mom was disgusted because his mom was like, "You still do that?" Like, ew.
It was actually disgusting. I felt ill.
Okay, you know what? Somebody change the subject because I haven't got sick all this.
No worries. Seaway.
Yeah, I somewhat what Dahlia said. I think this was like the most healthy, normal conversation we've seen on the show. A conflict that like two normal people could have. especially people who are living two different lifestyles. I like how they both kind of were standing on their own square and then started to move like towards the center. I think that was a healthy way of conflict resolution. I definitely left the end of the conversation just trying to figure out, is the things that bond them together going to be stronger than their differences? Because they do have lifestyle differences, and I think they both made valid points. Sorry, my eyes agitating me. They both made valid points. But what I will say about a woman and this kind of now seeing whatever, I hope these ain't spoilers, but got me thinking, it's very hard, and they say this all the time, that once women get to a certain status level, it's very hard to regress them. Like that's why you see so many women tolerating like so much nonsense, because women taking a step back just almost never happens. And so I wonder if the things that she's looking at is kind of like ringing the alarm that maybe the step back is just not something that she's willing to do. And I think also on his end, if you're not courting a woman just because you feel like you can't, or you don't have the time, or you feel like you can't match up, so you dig your feet in the sand and just don't do nothing, it's also not appropriate either. It seemed like he kind of was like, he kind of quit on putting his best foot forward a little early for my taste. But she's also trying to be Luca Mama too, which is she also moving too fast, acting like she been there forever either, which kind of ruins the courting stage on her end. That's really my thoughts. Jay had me weak with the accidental masculinity. She definitely is, I think, masculine on accident for sure. Especially when you get in the role of you're starting to pay for men, or pay for things with men. I don't know, it makes it a little awkward. Do I have any more thoughts, guys? I think that's that. But I do want to say I'm very proud of everyone for not picking apart this argument. I feel like everyone has done a really good job of putting it in nuance, because I think this was actually a normal disagreement, which is actually nice to see on the show, because we don't see too many of those. I think most of the disagreements are actually like completely ridiculous. So it was nice to see a normal disagreement where I was like, everybody's right and everybody wrong at the same time. So yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna give a movie, since Sean always got songs. I'm gonna give a movie, since Jordan likes movies to watch. He just wants to sit down and watch a movie. Think Like a Man 1 and 2. Just look at Regina. What's her name? That's Regina Hall, right? No, that's Taraji. Taraji's character, and what's his name? Terrence J. Yeah, just follow their story. No, not Terrence J. That's not Terrence J. It's Michael Ealy. Her and
Michael Ealy.
Yeah, movie suggestion for him.
I was gonna say, I think, like, piggybacking maybe a little bit more off of what Dahlia was saying earlier, I think the editing, when they caught in like the filming of it, I didn't really agree with what was going on. I felt very lost. I felt like it was a very incomplete conversation. It was just like, oh, well, we don't do anything. And then when you layer it into like the deleted scenes, I don't know if anybody got to watch those on Tadum, but they do stuff like getting to see the behind the scenes, like the couples, they do engage and they have stuff. And I think it was Megan and him going to get a pedicure and a manicure, whatever it was, but they are doing stuff. So I don't think that it would be a fair characterization that they don't do anything. I think that, like CUA was saying, she being the caliber of person that she is, I feel like her last conquest to have is a husband and a kid and a family. And I think Jordan did a really good baddie management situation, because even if you look, like, it seems like he's pulled some really attractive women in his past. If you look at Child's mom and stuff like that, he ain't no slouch. There's no hitch in his step. But I think that he knows what type of person he's dealing with Megan. I think he knows that she's not very malleable or flexible and how she's thinking about their relationship, how she was willing to even go to looking in schools in a completely different or houses in a completely different school district without him being there and being present. And I think that after a certain point, it got to a point where he knew that he wasn't going to win in this situation. And he was like, well, like he started being nitpicky. He started to showcase the content that we talk about with the other contestants, that they were, you know, they started to have resentment, and then it turned into contempt where he was nitpicking on every little thing. At the same time, I do think that he didn't get I don't think he gets a really good feminine experience dealing with Megan comparatively to probably what he's used to. She's really type A. And so I'm sure when she talks to him about his job, I just from my experience is that when you talk about like careers and stuff like that with really type A driven type people, they're not doing that in a place of listening. Even myself, if I'm talking to a significant other, I have to check myself and be like, hey, am I just listening to listen, or am I listening to improve? And I think that a lot of times type A uber successful women don't realize that when you are like listening, you're listening to fix and probe and pod and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Not men don't like when we do a man on them. Ain't that some stuff?
I mean, look, unfortunate.
Indeed. Sean, you're gonna have the last say, and you're gonna wrap us up, because boy, my eyes are doing a lot of shutting at this moment. Get me. I almost fell into a prayer position.
Hey, prayer like your life depends on it.
It
Yeah, I don't necessarily have any new thoughts about them that no one hasn't shared. The one thing I'll say that I think they were missing as they were talking to each other both was empathy. I think if they would have just led with empathy in that conversation for each other, they could have gotten a lot further. Like if Megan was just more empathetic to the fact that his load is a little heavier, is a lot different than hers, and broaching what are some of the things that she needed, and the same for him. If he could have done that, I think she definitely, to Seaway's point, I love the conversation, because sometimes we gotta be, I'm right, you're wrong. That's it. It's a all or nothing discussion, and I don't think it was an all or nothing kind of conversation. They both have points, and I love how he got at her, because she was like, I'm used to this with certain men, and he was like, and how did that work for you? You know, he got to her, and then he tried to come back and be like, you know, you knew what I was working with. You knew that this was my station in life when you got with me. And she said, yeah, I did know that, but that doesn't mean that the little things go away. She got him. You know, like if he was listening, if we're not, you know, we don't need to go round for round in these kind of debates, but like really hear each other, because they were both making valid points. And that was long-winded, because I don't think they're going to make it, because they do come from two very different worlds. And I think it's very hard to bridge the gap when you come from two different worlds, unless you have a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding, and are both of you have to be malleable, you know? And I think parts of Megan's malleability is performative. To me, that would be very off-putting, all the stuff that she goes with the kid. You have to ease your way into situations as a blended family. Going 90 miles an hour at a 5-year-old is too much. It's too much. She needs to fall back and like think with her head, because she's like, why are you looking at $1.5 million houses, $2 million houses, talking about I'm gonna sell this, I'm gonna sell that, we gonna get this together, you gonna get a $500,000 mortgage. He don't know you, you don't know him, lady. You're moving too fast. You still got to slow down. Get out of the speeding lane. Megan was speeding. And unfortunately, sometimes when you speed, you get to where you're going quick. And sometimes when you speed, you get a massive car wreck. And I see a massive car wreck coming for these two, unfortunately. My comments for the night. I mean, we went down some windy roads. I would say relationships are just that, windy roads, especially in the beginning. But pay attention to the signs. because the signs are there for a reason. If your gut tells you something is amiss, and whether that's the person really doesn't like you, whether that's the person's doing a little bit something that is problematic in behavior or excessive, if it don't feel right to you in your body, it don't feel right for a reason. Don't ignore the signs. Pay attention to the signs. And when you see the signs, don't just glance at them. Heed what the instructions say. If it says danger, then go the other way. If it says slow down, then slow down. If it warns you that it's a windy road, don't go down that windy road 90 miles an hour and then think that you're going to have a better outcome. So that's all I got. Pay attention to the signs. They're there for a reason. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate it. Listen, audience, it's been a wonderful time. Our panelists, Easton, Dahlia, Sean, Precious, Jay, Seaway, thank you for turning up for the last 4 hours with us to chop it up about Love is Blind. Of course, in a few hours' time, more episodes are actually dropping as well. So we'll be back here again next Tuesday. I mean, of course, at that time, Married at First Sight also drops this week as well. So on the 23rd, I think it drops. So we're in for a treat. And apparently they're dropping 4 episodes at a go. So listen, slap somebody. It's going to be your time. You're going to be picking out of you. So I don't know. You're going to have to find a way, but I guess maybe we might do it on the Saturday. I don't know. Give everybody a bit of time to watch episodes. You know what I mean? So you can actually watch the episodes, and on a weekend you can chop it up as well and talk about it as well. So our Saturday slots will be back open again once more. Okay. Well, listen, audience members, it's been amazing. It's been wonderful. It's been fantasismo. I've enjoyed myself. You know what I'm saying to you? Where is Mass dropping? At Peacock. Is it Peacock now? So yeah, it's on Peacock now. Okay. You know, some of us can't afford that thing. We have our ways. So it's been a good time. It's been amazing. It's been fun. Don't forget to like the video, share it, but also as well, don't forget to hype it up. We had 500 people in the room watching. So thank you again once more in that place. We appreciate it. Okay. Much love, much appreciation. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Stay safe on them streets. Okay. All right. Stay straight on them.
Is a U.S. the new king?